गेमिंग करते भाई
हाँ, इधर हम
Hello,
लोग
20
and
पीसी
साल से
गेमिंग
कर रहे
करते
हैं हम लोग गेमिंग
we're live. And speaking of gaming, क्या बात कर रहे हैं हम?
talking about
हैं।
the
No, we were
difference
just
between
saying how the
Twitch
low
and
key, yeah,
और Twitch YouTube का debate start. Let's go.
yeah. Jose just like mentioned कि Twitch में it is the OG gaming content and YouTube is like where the nalla gamer लोग हैं, and I'm like that's low key the actual belief on
Yeah.
Twitch.
this dude
Honestly,
उधर
yeah.
से PUBG इधर हम लोग real games खेलते हैं real games
Real game. PC Master Race.
The gatekeeping is insane, bhai.
PC Master Race
Uh, but welcome Jose to Brainus Us,
hey thank you for having me man
and
very
welcome
nice
Akhil to Brainus Us again.
Thank you.
What is up? What is happening? I mean, I know what is happening, but like how's your day?
I mean, I'll start with my day because Jose
Hmm.
is the guest. We can continue off.
हाँ
I
मतलब
am,
सब Jose last में करेगा of course.
yes,
yeah
हाँ.
yeah
I am currently working.
You are. I know. It's your working time, right?
Yes.
oh you're
That
at
is
Actual
how it
work
is.
in the
match.
middle of work damn and they're like
Dude.
ये अखिल किधर है वो he's
नहीं
not
वो network
replying
issue बोला है मैंने as usual. That's my usual reason for being on Maz's podcast.
what if they're watching the stream
No one watches. It's
तो
I
fine.
pre-recorded करके live बोला उधर you can say that
ये कल किया था.
What about you, Jose?
That is
How has your day been?
good, man. I've recently started waking up very early in the morning. I've spent most of my life living in the second half of the day, but now recently it's been like a good. I can't remember actually. It's been a week and a half, 2 weeks of waking up every day at 7 o'clock. I did it. I did it. I did it, man.
Damn.
It's horrific. It's
7.
horrible. It's
Is
terrible.
it horrible though? Like I
No,
like
no.
people keep telling me like it's so good, like कि मस्त मजा आता है इतना time मिलता है life में. Do you feel
नहीं,
like that though?
but if you've lived your life in the second half of the day for most of your
Yeah.
life, which is what I did, it's been like from 2002 till recently I've been living like that. Is real mess. Is getting worse and worse. Is sleeping at 10 in the morning. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, अभी बंद करना चाहिए सब, नहीं तो मर जाएगा एक दिन. So yeah, it's horrific in the starting. Like the first week is really painful, and you're like, my eyes, my eyes सब जल रहा है. At the same time, you're like, wow, the daytime is so fascinating. Sunlight. But now I'm slowly sort of like getting used to it. It's good. I think it's better to be. I used to think it's better to be awake in the night. It
Mm.
is. It is.
I think that
But
mentality will never go away
yeah,
though, right?
yeah. But it's more
true.
right to be awake in the daytime, I would
It
say.
also gives you
Mm.
more like energy is what I've personally noticed. Like if I wake up early, I've felt more, I don't know, charged to do things than
I'm
waking
not.
up late.
I don't know आप क्या खाते हो सर मेरे को नहीं feel हो रहा है ऐसा. I'm feeling worse. Like I have less energy. My first 3 hours of the day is just getting used to like कि क्या हो रहा है क्या हो रहा है. I'll have breakfast and I feel like going back to sleep, man. It's a mess. But
Oh,
अच्छा it's good.
apparently people are saying Jose's के Discord पे shout out दिया. Damn, thank you.
अरे
Very
फिर
cool.
सब
Thank you,
अपना
sir.
डिस्कॉर्ड
बहुत
डिस्कॉर्ड डिस्कॉर्ड मीटिंग
Discord हाँ meeting. Oh, okay.
बच्चा हो जाएगा.
That'll be
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah. Right.
ये ज्यादा पानी पीन मत. Sorry.
Ari,
That's just for my Discord people. You're like वो बोला. Anyway. So what's going on? What are we doing here today?
We are
I'm
gonna
so
talk
nervous.
about important things today. Like first of all, I
चलो,
wanted
अच्छी
to
बात.
acknowledge something, right? Like you said, okay.
चलो, go ahead.
Like you talked about, मतलब अगर नहीं किया तो ऐसे मर जाएगा. Like like if you don't fix your sleep schedule, and that's how like recently I've been living my life about like not gymming and eating bad food. Have you like वैसा आता है क्या? Like like my food eating habits are so bad right now. अभी just ice cream खत्म किया 2 मिनट पहले 2 cones वाला. And I was like,
दो.
bro, I need to like calm down because like 40s में आऊँगा heart attack आएगा. I don't want that. It's
Yeah.
very terrifying thought.
Yeah, and I think only thoughts like this actually push you to
Hmm.
change the way you live. Like तो Now after this, he'll go and have another ice cream. Salah, what rubbish we talked about. Yeah, yeah,
इतना इतना stress दे दिया मेरे को
yeah.
अभी.
Stressful guy. No, but it's true. Even this sleep cycle thing, I've wanted. It's been in the back of my head for a long time. I knew that I had to change it, but
Hmm.
I feel like, and if, lots of people give you lots of gyan ki
Yeah.
aisa karna chahiye, go and look at the trees, look at the sunlight, put your hand in the sun, and ye tablet le lo, sab acha ho jayega. Eat at this time. Don't look at the phone and all. Eventually, I feel like you, it happens only when you really want it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel the only thing that's different now, I feel, is like I've decided ki ye karna chahiye, and I
Hmm.
want it. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I forced it. I'm suffering now, but it'll get better, I guess.
They say it takes like what, 3 weeks to get used to something. It's called like
They say it takes,
neuroplasticity in your brain. Wo neural
21
connections.
days or
Yeah.
something, right,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
form a habit. But this has happened much faster. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised also once you force it, and I think as humans, we're very easily manipulated and easily
Hmm.
conditioned.
Hmm.
So I think once you force it and just get into that routine, na apne aap ho jata hai.
It's also,
Yeah.
I think, sleep के मामले में it's more like कि like your body needs that biological sleep time, which is at night.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
if you go to sleep at 10 a.m., then that would become a habit. But once you start forcing yourself sleeping at 10 p.m. or
Your
11
body,
p.m.,
yeah,
whatever,
your
your
body
body will
wants that.
accept it. Yeah, your body will accept it
Yeah,
faster, kind
yeah,
of a thing.
Hmm. Just बीच बीच में reminders देते रहे कि none of this is medical advice.
Yeah.
मत
yeah. None of this is medical advice.
बात में मत आना dude.
But try karo, bhai log.
True.
Sort your lives out like that guy. No one knows. But yeah.
Uh, right. So this is what I usually ask first, right? How's it for you? What is mental health? What is like good mental health for you?
Oh shit. I honestly, last person you should be asking. So take care. Goodbye, everyone. Uh, I don't know. I think good mental health is being in a state of mind where you're not anxious a lot all the time. We're not feeling crappy, I
Hmm.
guess. Which is why
Mm.
I feel like we're always chasing after, like when some people chase highs, some people chase content, some people chase entertainment. We're always chasing for that sort of escape, I feel.
Yeah.
So I feel like good mental health is when you're in a good enough space to where your mind is not playing tricks on you. Like they say, the mind is a monkey,
Yeah.
and is the worst friend.
Mm.
So yeah. So basically, my basic answer is I don't know. What is the
Hmm.
next question?
That makes sense, right? Like you need to be in that sort of state of mind where you're not happy like a maniac all the time, but you're happy sufficiently, and
Yeah,
You're
and
more
you're
or less satisfied, I think.
yeah.
Mentally satisfied, at least.
Hmm.
which I think nobody is at. Also,
Yeah.
because you can't always be like that. Like you have to
Yeah.
have the ups and downs. I think
Yeah.
otherwise,
It'll
I
be a
mean,
scary world.
otherwise people will think you're insane.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Din
saying.
bhar
Just
be
can't be
smiling
happy
all day
pura
long.
time. Yeah, so
Yeah.
weird. Speaking of like mentally insane, right? Like, uh, what? So this perception of like people being mentally insane and like anything that happens therapy ke liye agar kuch bola, someone says like you go see a professional, and then there's this whole taboo, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Haila. So what is your experience like? Matlab, like you've seen this also, right? Since काफी time से. So like over the
Yeah.
years,
So
how has
I'm
your experience been?
what he's trying to say is, yeah, you're so old. Oh, can you tell us something from around 40 years ago? I can tell you, yes. So when we
30
were kids, when
years.
we were
Okay.
young.
I meant 30 years.
Oh, damn it. I gave that away. Extra 10 years I added to that. But when we were younger, it was not a conversation even. We didn't even know what a therapist was. I mean, and our parents wouldn't really entertain that idea of going and talking to someone else about your personal problems
Hmm.
and or what's on your mind. They'd be like, why don't you talk to us? But then also we
Yeah.
were in that space where we couldn't talk to our parents, right? Depending on your relationship with your parents. But
Hmm.
I'm from that time where they were like, just do your bloody homework.
Hmm.
You finished your
Yeah.
homework. Now go to work. Now leave the house, whatever. So that was it was a different time, and not that there are heavy conversations about mental health happening now.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But it's way better than it was before, and I
For,
feel like it's a little more acceptable now.
yeah,
So
no,
so
for
yeah,
sure,
that was
dude.
what it was like for us before. It was like it
Mm,
was not even a thing. It was not even a conversation.
yeah.
That is very like being someone from a time where I have seen that transition happen. Like when I was very young, of course, as you said, there was no conversation at all. But I think probably when you were around at the age of actually like understanding the world, even at that point there was no conversation happening, right? So for
Yeah.
me, like I've seen like in the past 10-15 years, it's when the conversations have started getting much more serious. And like for me it's like very difficult to see that when I was 15, seeing that there was no topic of mental health or anything of that sort even being discussed. like
Yeah.
like pagal was just like a common word. Like that's very
Yeah.
uh, fascinating.
And also that taboo around, oh, you're seeing a
Yeah,
doctor about your mental health, maybe you are crazy,
crack.
like you
Yeah.
said,
That's
and that was that whole stigma, I guess.
very common. Like even like with my patients when they come to me, it's the same thing. Like the first thing they're like, we have not told our parents, and like even if they're adults, like young adults in India are still like living with their parents. That's just a fact. And when they come
Mm.
to me, they're like, my matlab, I haven't told my parents, and like I don't want to tell them because they'll be like, kya zarurat hai? There's no. And so I'm just saying, like even now, at least in like 90% of my patients, it's still the same thing in the happening. Like the talk about
Damn.
therapy is just very regressive, and like they don't believe in therapy. It's the same thing right now कि
Mm.
सुबह को जॉगिंग पे जाओ या खाना खा लो या पानी पी लो जो कल ही हम बात कर रहे
Do
थे
push-ups,
do push-ups.
people actually say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exercise karo and all, like you said. I mean,
what is
you
the
will know better.
what is the weirdest thing you've heard people say to like to a person who had like let's say depression या anxiety या जो भी
People have said stuff like, try to think of something else and all. Like literally, like, yeah, oh no, yeah, these will happen. Try to think of something else.
Happy thoughts.
कर दो, yeah, think
है.
happy. तो क्या बात कर रहे हो भाई?
Damn. Depression solved, dude.
Yeah, people will try to fix it. I mean, I guess that's the only thing they know. Also, no? They try to fix it through
Mm,
food
yeah.
and
Mm.
try to fix it through a hobby. You need a hobby.
Yeah. But like
You have a lot of idle time.
let's
Yeah,
like also think about in like from their perspective, right? Because they are not informed at all in this thing, and I think they're still like trying to do their best to like actually care about you, or they come from a place of love, or like
yeah. They're not doing it. They're not intentionally trying to
yeah,
screw up your life.
true. But then again, it just like sometimes come across very ignorant. Uh,
Mm.
so that's like always been a debate in my head, at least. Like,
But see, you say they come from a place of caring and this thing,
hmm,
right? But then they are also, like, this is my perspective, that they are also not listening to the person, right? Like that person is telling them that they are feeling down even while doing the things that they like. They
yeah,
have no
I think
interest
if
in things
they
and stuff
actually
like that.
talk about this stuff, then yes, and if they still continue having the same,
Yeah, that's what.
then
Yeah.
it is bad. Yeah, then I think that's very ignorant. But I feel like
Mm.
a lot of people they don't really open up. Like
Hmm.
again, from my experience, I've seen people who have it really hard, especially people who have like depression or anxiety. They don't open up to other people.
Correct.
Like that's
Yeah.
like the first thing I tell them. Like कि अगर friends है या घर पे कोई है you're close to, try opening up, and it's hard for them. But
Yeah,
yeah, again, I think I get what you mean also. Uh,
But it's interesting to know where did these so-called solutions came in, right? Like how did someone think कि if this guy is feeling sad, तुम 10 push-ups करो,
or
or
like
mm,
get rid of it through hobby. I feel like
like
people from way back when they didn't have any kind of reference point, so they were just sort of falling back on the things that they knew.
they, yeah.
yeah.
So people tend to keep repeating that again and again. So they if maybe they had met someone and seen what therapy can do
Mm,
for a
Yeah.
person, maybe they then change their mind
yeah.
about what the solution is. But they were,
Mm,
maybe they're not open to it. Maybe it was not a thing.
yeah.
Whatever the circumstances, that's what ended up happening. So a
E-
Hmm.
lot of the time, people don't realize what therapy can do for you.
yeah. You know what's the beautiful thing about this the ironic actually about this is that therapist बाद में थोड़े सेशंस के बाद घुमा फिरा के उन लोग को एक्सरसाइज के लिए ही भेजते हैं.
Oh no,
No,
damn.
only because
Okay.
exercise is not a bad thing. Exercise brings routine to your life, and anyone who suffers
Yeah.
with like depression, especially, they need some sort of routine so that they don't fall back into like negative behaviors that reinforce their sadness or their depressive thoughts. So, मतलब
True.
घूम फिर के बाद में they have to like go and exercise, which is not a bad thing. It's just like the way people say it is like कि तुम उतना ही करो तो ठीक हो जाओगे.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Therapy
yeah, yeah.
also has a
Got
lot
it.
of talking and blah blah blah. And फिर बाद में बोलते हैं कि अच्छा चलो जाओ अभी exercise करो थोड़ा चालू करना है कल से.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always like found hilarious about this conversation
The
that we keep
discourse
having.
around it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like end में we come to the same suggestion. It's just that this is just more steps के बाद आया exercise करो.
yeah.
They see that as a solution as opposed to one of the things you should be
Mm-hmm.
sort of doing, part of the steps, I guess.
But then
Yeah.
when you say routine, it's not just exercise, right? Like then all other things would also come into
Everything
play.
has
Just
to be
like
a routine. Yeah, yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
finding a hobby, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just like as
100%.
simple as that.
It's called behavior activation, which is basically in behavior activation they talk about like certain behaviors reinforce your negative thoughts. कि अगर तुम पूरा दिन घर पे बैठोगे आइसोलेट करते रहोगे तो योर नेगेटिव थॉट्स आर रीइंफोर्स के मैं अकेला रहता हूँ मेरे कोई फ्रेंड्स नहीं है blah blah and then that thoughts in return reinforces your behavior because you feel shitty you'll be at home pura time so it's like a cycle and that's where they try to break it. So
I guess like all the
Interesting.
old sayings, like they say, the idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah,
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Mm.
that's true.
Mm. uh, So Jose, have you actually had experience like personal experience with like mental health struggles?
So the crazy thing is because we are from a time where this was not even a conversation, I don't know. You know what I
That is
mean?
concerning, but also I
I
understand you.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm explaining this well enough or articulating it well enough, but we were from a time where we'd go through it. It was not really a conversation. Even if we tried having a conversation with it, there was no going from point A to point B. So eventually, you'd have to figure. Maybe we figured out ways around it. I
Hmm.
mean, and like I mean, everybody's going through something or the other. You know what I mean? Everybody looks like they're having a great time. They all look like they're smiling, but everyone's dealing with something or the other on a deeper level. So,
Mm,
but I don't. I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you because I'm from that time where this was not a conversation,
Hmm.
yeah.
which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers. I'm lucky that I managed to uh, get through whatever troubles and
Mm,
issues I did have
yeah.
when I was younger. So yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. But I think this is a case for a lot of people. Like this is a thought that always comes, and it's very horrifying for me. It's like so many people even now, like living in India, like especially like let's say the rural part of India, they go through stuff. They go through anxiety. They go through depression. They go through schizophrenia,
Yeah.
psychosis, blah blah, and they have no idea it is happening to them. I mean, psychosis.
That they
Let's
are
say
going through it.
हाँ
Yeah, so
साइकोसिस
true.
इज अ रॉन्ग थिंग टू से बिकॉज साइकोसिस के टाइम तो फिर वो फिर बाबास एंड वो सब का हो जाता है लाइक दे टेक देम टू
Devi and all. Yeah.
हाँ देवी आती है वो सब बट लाइक डिप्रेशन स्पेशली इट गोज सो अननोटिस एंड इट्स स्कैरी बिकॉज there's
Yeah.
so many offers in India 1.3 billion.
Yeah. And because there's no conversation about it and no one knows about it, there's no way to articulate it also. So it just gets left in hanging in the air
Yep.
like
Yeah.
that.
And also I think like the state of how it's handled, like Maz, I think you had mentioned once, like how many licensed psychologists are there in entire India? Just tell the number to people.
So there are only 1,600 or 700 licensed.
What?
License is the important question. Clinical psychologist in India.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And we've
What are
got
you
what
saying?
1.3 billion people, dude. It's horrifying. And this is license. So here's where the problem starts, right? Now there are people who do their masters, which in India teaches you nothing about therapy. I'll be very honest. I've done masters and then I've done further studies, and the further studies is what actually taught me how to be a good therapist. So people do masters and then they start practicing, and they can cause so much harm to someone who needs like clinical help, because they have no idea what they are doing, and then these people are now clinical psychologists uh, out there who are not even in those 1600. So there are more people,
It-
but they are not licensed. That's why, like, anytime anyone who asks me, even on stream, when they ask me like, if you are looking for therapists, what should we look for? The number one priority is this something called RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India. They license therapists. So if that person has a RCI license, then you get therapy from the. But then comes the part that
Damn.
they're not enough, and then you sort of have to trust, right? This masters करने के बाद दो masters
Yeah.
करते, फिर वो लोग ऐसे 3 हफ्ते का workshop करेंगे एक therapy में, and they're like, चलो हम CBT करते हैं आज. That's how it works.
It.
Especially in Maharashtra, it is horrifying. In Maharashtra, it is the worst case. Pune or Mumbai वाले
And
area में.
what about the other side of things? Like, for example, how much is how much can one therapist take? Also, because I'm sure it takes a toll listening to
Yeah,
people,
I
listening to their
usually do like
problems.
3 sessions per day, and that in itself gets like, pretty exhausting. But this is just me privately working, right, for myself. There are organizations who like have hired clinical psychologists, and they go through like 5 to 6 people per day. It's bad,
Wow,
and it's worse in government hospitals. I've worked in
hats off,
Hyderabad
man.
government hospital, uh, like for 3 months, and we had to see at least 10 people every day, and we had to like do clinical workup and then do therapy also. It is horrifying how many people need help, like especially in government hospitals, and how incompetent the government hospitals are. But I'm not gonna name the states.
Dude, those are some crazy stats. My God, I can't believe it's in the thousands. That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh
it's
shit.
this was a statistics from 2 years back. But I'm sure it hasn't like increased significantly. But yeah, licensed therapists are very important, and I understand sometimes you don't get them. Then just message me. I'll try. I'll help you out with like getting you a good therapist. But like in general, you should go for an RCA licensed therapist. Uh, but yeah, that's the number.
I'll tell people on my Discord that they can come to your
No, for sure.
Discord
Yeah.
channel, maybe drop a message. But
Mm,
you know what? We used to do this love advice stream, which was just us
mm,
screwing around and
mm,
love advice. Not we. That was the idea.
mm.
We used to do it on the radio before,
Yeah.
and it was just about screwing around and listening to people with their love issues and stuff. And
Mm,
after a point, it started getting really heavy, man.
mm.
People started coming in with serious problems, and it would move away from love and then move into really serious issues.
Serious
So
issues. Yeah.
at the start of every stream, I would say, look, you know what? If you have someone close to you in the family, speak to them first. Don't call some random guys on the internet and ask them for advice. That's the last people you should be asking for.
Yeah.
Or try to find a therapist to help you. Like that's the first thing you should be doing, as opposed to we.
Yeah.
And of course, people would get onto the stream. We try to talk to them and we'd be nice and have them, but be acutely aware that we're not qualified also, and that's
Yeah.
worse than that's much worse when you don't really you're not qualified, but you're like, chalo, main help karega. You could do more damage,
For
and we
sure.
were
Yeah.
acutely aware of that. So then eventually he shut that stream down because it started getting so heavy, and people were supposed to be calling in for love issues and all, and they would just unload, and it would be crazy, man.
Can you give us like some
So
incidents, like where it got like super intense without like actually revealing names and stuff?
like a trigger warning and stuff. I mean, some people were feeling suicidal,
Hmm.
some people were feeling like they didn't want to go on and stuff,
Hmm.
and we did you do your best to, but it's a live stream, right?
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
somebody calls you on a live stream, what are you gonna do? So anyway, so there, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happened. Eventually, it would get like edited out of the stream, post there. But some people, I guess some of it might have been people really dealing with mental health issues, and some of it might just have been somebody who was like wrong in a relationship. They're having a bad day and they just want to cry or some crap
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that spectrum of different
Yeah.
things that we go through. But yeah, but what I realized from doing that was that there's so many people, and also it got worse during the pandemic, I feel like, because people are having less and less contact with the outside world and less contact with each other, that they just wanted someone to talk to,
Yeah.
Mm.
even if it was not super intense or something. Just feeling isolated and just wanted to talk to someone. They were not going to do anything drastic or anything, but it was weighing on them so much that they just wanted to talk to someone, and they just call up and say, we just want to talk.
Yeah.
So I feel like it got worse during the pandemic. The pandemic sort of isolated people more.
You
100%.
you used
Yeah.
to do the love clinic in during your radio as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I think it was with Suresh Menon.
yeah. I would say, but see, that was a different. It was a different target group also.
Yeah, that's what, like,
You
that's
know,
that's one point that I wanted to raise as well during the podcast. But since we're already on the topic of that, so, like, how long ago was it? Like 10 years ago, 10, 12.
way more than that. 2002 onwards, maybe 2003, four,
Yeah, then
something around that time.
19, 18 years something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, what I wanted to ask was, like, you did the love clinic thing back then also. Like, people used to, like, actual people used to call in the radio and, like, discuss their love problems. Now you did the live streams as well. So in that period, did you, like, see any um like changes in the issues that people are facing, or was it just the same stuff, packaged in a different way,
So
in like
straight.
terms of relationships?
I get what you're getting at. I strangely, I don't know what the factors were that contributed to it, but I think people got it instantly that that was just a joke and people were
Oh, yeah.
messing around. So
Hmm.
mostly people would call and say stuff like, and this is a real call, you can find it on on SoundCloud. Just type Hoezaay SoundCloud, Chutia number 3. Like one guy called up and said ki, he called up and said कि मैं अपने गर्लफ्रेंड के घर पे गया और वो दूसरे रूम में गई थी और उसका फोन something about he needed to find her phone. She couldn't find in the room, so he calls it from his phone, and on her phone's display it's written Chutya number 3. So I mean, I don't know if that was a real call or what.
Yeah.
Then one person called and said कि hello, क्या है ना, मेरा गर्लफ्रेंड को कुत्ते ने काटा है, हम लोग ब्रेकअप करें क्या? And then we'd explain to him, nahi, nahi karte yaar. So the people were
This.
screwing around with us, we were screwing around with
Yeah.
them also.
Okay.
It was that kind of vibe, and I think the vibe was very clear from the
Hmm.
get go. I genuinely can't remember a single serious call
Serious
back
call.
then.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's a great insight there. I never thought about that like that, but
Hmm.
uh,
No, I mean, even when I used to listen to it on the radio, I remember it always being just, as funny and basically shit posting on the radio.
yeah. But
But
also, see, also that was not live. We were not stupid
true.
enough to go live.
Yeah.
Oh.
We were. Those are all recorded calls. So we'd give the number out. People would call in, and
Okay. So only the
we'd
funny ones were aired.
correct, correct.
Hmm.
There were people who go, hey, एक गाना बजाना. That's it. You like, chal it, put the phone down. But yeah, it was not live. It was not live. So a completely different vibe.
Hmm.
So this like all this intense calls started happening like during lockdown, like on your live shows, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When we started doing the whole love advice thing on
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
And I think it was on us also a little bit because what would happen is people would call, and look, it's a live stream. Yeah, someone, and we don't want to be rude to people also. If someone calls in and they have a genuine problem, we'll try to talk to them.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was is a couple of maybe people saw that and they felt like they could also call,
Yeah.
and then that sort of kept spiraling and it kept happening and it kept happening again and again and again. When people felt like they could come,
Yeah.
Hmm.
in spite of us saying that, hey, please don't call us, please don't. So I think it was a bit on us also, and then eventually I decided that it's not a good space to be in for them also, because I don't want to
Yeah.
be being pretending to give people advice when I personally know nothing about life myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair enough. Yeah.
that kind of thing.
But that that was the vibe of the stream though. Like, even on ghost stories, I always feel like I should join in, and, like, not even just like I just feel like, like the three of you now, four of you guys are just like a very good group to just talk with. So I think that's what
Yeah.
also translated on the Love Clinic
Guess so.
place.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Hmm.
It's scary,
Yes, it is.
but yeah.
Speaking of scary things, what is like what's a scary incident that has happened with you, like in terms of like a fan? Has there
My
been any?
God,
Or did you say
nothing
so many?
majorly,
Oh, okay.
nothing major. But
Hmm.
when I was in when I was on television and doing MTV,
Hmm.
you'd have a couple of like these. Oh my God, I almost said crazies. But a
Which is
couple of these
fine.
really intense people. Like one guy once showed up, and he would sit in the lobby every day wanting to meet me. And after he met me also, he'd still sit and wait in the lobby every day. It started getting a little crazy. And then eventually security had to ask him to leave, this that. Then something else that happened was, it's a bizarre thing. This was all, I guess television had that crazy reach
Yeah.
Mm.
back then. You end up beaming yourself into people's homes. Here you have to click a link, and then you're like
Yeah.
there. Then was they like, "Are yeah, are TV pe." So it was that kind of vibe. And can you imagine this? There's this mad story of this one girl. She one day one of our guys from HR comes to me and says, "Have you been talking to any girl for months?" And I'm like, "What? What the hell are you talking about?" I said, "I don't know any girls, and no girls know me. So what the hell are you talking about?" So he's like, "Nahi, kya hua ki this one girl or somebody out there was chatting with a girl over months, pretending to be me.
Oh
I don't
boy.
know who's more jobless than me to do this." And they did this, and eventually this person caught on to them, blah blah blah, and it turns out that girl's father was some commissioner or something of some police
Oh
somewhere.
boy.
So it became a big deal. There was a legal case and all, and this guy just asked me, "Sir, you kiya kya?" I said, "No, I swear I've not. I please, अब मेरा phone record सब check करो, तुम करो जो भी करने का है." He said, "Okay, fine, fine," and then they sort of like they talified it, I
Oh
guess.
no. Damn.
Damn.
That is
Mad.
scary though, dude. Like we will come back to like this, like the internet being a scary place and how you like take it all in. But before that, because we are still on this relationship train that we are, uh so I went back and saw your first season of your podcast Khan Masti, and in that
I'm
it
so
was,
sorry that you went through that.
it was actually hilarious, to be honest. It's like exactly the kind
Oh
of
no,
humor I like. Will yeah,
man.
I'm sorry. Um,
I can recommend a good therapist, someone else.
um, so in one of those podcasts, right? Someone you were talking about, like someone asked you about relationship, like how to get over a relationship, and you
Yeah,
gave an answer. Do you remember that answer?
yeah. It was another relationship.
Hmm.
Is that what I said? I think that's why. Yeah,
It is
you
one
have
of
to
the
remember that was also 10 years ago. I
yeah,
don't know. I'm so scared. I don't
but
know what I
yeah,
said.
it was one of the things you said, or was it?
Yeah. I think I said get
It's basically
you.
failed relationship advice. Was like, what is a good failed relationship advice? What is a good failed relationship advice now for you? What would
Oh,
you?
now?
Yeah,
My God. Oh, damn.
Wait,
Shit,
so
my
what do you
wife is
mean when you say
listening.
failed relationship advice?
like a relationship that has like failed,
What do you
गलत
do?
तरीके से separation हो गया,
Oh,
गुस्सा,
so
I
an
don't know.
advice to solve that.
Yeah, like how do you get over
Okay.
it basically?
I thought
Was
you're talking about an advice that would fail a relationship. I was
अरे
like,
अरे
wait,
सर
that's
How to
I mean
fail
वो
a
भी पूछेंगे
relationship?
बाद में.
Just be yourself.
Or
Your
you, that
relationship
has
will
worked
fail
out really
automatically.
well for me, to be honest. In two relationships now back to back. Anyways, I'm
oh
happy.
no.
I don't know. I think when we were younger, we used to be really like intense and like, नहीं मैं बहुत प्यार करते ही नहीं. Without you, मैं मर जाएगा. And then as you get older, you're like, what was I doing? And and you can only know it once you go through those experiences. Like as a slightly older person telling a younger person कि अरे don't worry यार सब ठीक हो जाएगा बाद में. It's lost on them. right?
Hmm.
Because like they say, the youth is wasted on the youth. I don't know what it's called, what the saying is, but there's no, they have to go through it. And like, the only advice I can give people is, don't be toxic, and you have to be really aware of what you're doing. Because people वो सब वो emotion में बह जाते हैं, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then building के नीचे and all, Aja, please talk to me. And then a mother saying, no, you cannot talk to her. And you're like, please, auntie.
Mm,
Yeah, man. But I think I still think, I mean, obviously not like you don't break up with someone and the next day start seeing somebody else. You have to give yourself some time to heal and
yeah,
shit. But I think the your next relationship will sort of take you out of that space. And I also feel like the more failed relationships you have, the more you know of what you don't want from your next relationship.
true. That is very true.
That is,
Also,
yeah.
yeah,
You know?
you learn a
And that's
lot from all your relationships.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for my wife because now I'm not willing to put up with anything. I'm like, what? मैंने क्या किया? I don't care. And she's like, what? Why can't? And I'm like, no, I did all these things for my exes, and I literally groveled
Hmm.
and worship. And and in a way, I feel bad for my wife. They won't get that kind of treatment anymore. But for yourself, it's a damn good thing because you know what you
Mhm.
don't want from your
Yeah,
day. You're not gonna we're gonna
True.
put up with like rubbish.
yeah.
I cannot
So
relate,
yeah.
but yes.
Akhil, what have you learned from your relationship?
Uh I don't know, man. Like I whenever someone asks me about my relationship, I just feel like, those old grandpa grandmas who's like, you need to adjust in a relationship. घर का light खराब हो गया तो you change the tube light, not the house, kind of a, person.
But that is
Like
also
that's what
great advice. Are you married?
I
E-
will be on first.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
congrats.
Thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
So yeah, we've
killer.
been together for 9 years. So that's
Oh
what, like,
wow.
yeah. So
You
that's why,
made it
like,
past 7, you're sorted, bro. Trust me.
so yeah, like I like that's like, and this was like first relationship for both of us, because we
Yeah.
got into it like since we were like 18. And so, like, we I think the first 2 years were just we trying to figure out how this thing works, like how
Yeah.
the relationship works and things like that. But yeah, I think my genuine advice for people in general is to just learn to adjust a little bit, like, meet halfway somewhere.
Bro,
Mm.
if you can't learn to adjust, no
Yeah, yeah.
relationship's gonna make it.
GG's, right? Yeah.
90% of marriage is just adjusting.
Adjust.
Trust me.
True.
My wife's watching this and laughing her guts out. I'm so sure of this. Hey, साला adjusting के बारे में बात कर रहे हो उधर? But I swear, I mean, I still feel like I'm that young guy. I'm still in college and all. See, you always think you're 18. You always think you're in that zone,
Hmm.
True. Yeah.
and the sooner you grow up, the sooner you realize that stuff like saying sorry, simple stuff like saying sorry, simple stuff like adjusting is such a big deal.
Yep.
It goes a long way. Goes a long way. So I say sorry every day, first thing in the morning.
Just wake up and like, yo, sorry.
It's like advanced sorries for the
Like,
things that
what
are
are you
gonna
sorry
happen.
about exactly?
Like, yeah.
Oh, nothing, nothing.
कुछ तो हो जाएगा दिन में,
You'll
ये
know.
लेके रखो.
But that's amazing, Akhil. One of those rare relationships. That's damn good.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Those
Anyways, you
the
said delete
exception to the
everything.
rule, as they say.
Your relationship advice for failed relationship was delete everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I've heard that from a lot of people as well. Is that actually a
But
thing
it
that
depends.
works?
I see. I was assuming that the person who's had that failed relationship is now being toxic, and then looking at those pictures and then having a
Hmm.
drink and saying,
Yeah.
"I loved her so much. I love you also, but I loved her so much." So that was the idea behind ki sab delete karo, because that, like you said, you go back into those habits.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You're conditioning yourself in some way.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go through your old pictures and go through them again
But
and again,
what if they've given a gift that is like, something that you really like,
burn
like a
it,
steel
burn
book
it with
edition of
oh steel
Guardians
book
of
you
the
cannot
Oh,
Galaxy
burn.
or something,
eBay में डाल
you
दो
know?
सीधा. monetize
True,
it,
but
monetize
but no,
your.
like what if it's like those limited edition game
Yeah,
things? Like I know
sell
Maz,
money, right?
you don't give a shit, but I know Jose cares about those things, so that's why I'm asking him.
Man, that's a really good question. And in my mind, I'm unable to come up with the answer because it's steelbook and
Yeah,
it's limited
exactly, right?
edition. I'm like, oh, shit, what do you
Like it
do?
has a minted number on it. Like this is the whatever third.
Then you just have to get over the relationship and
Yeah,
grow up.
just yeah, just
Because
grow
you
up.
want to keep that. You
True.
want to keep
Yeah,
the steelbook. You
exactly.
have to be a better person.
Oh
Makes sense.
no.
Khatam, khatam.
This seems very like specific. I वो
This
रहता है
is
ना
really
Reddit
specific.
पे are suspiciously specific.
Yeah,
That's us. Yeah.
that's
uh,
hilarious.
it is hilarious. Uh, yeah. So I think that's like a relationship, and I find relationships to be very funny. Uh, because
Yeah.
like looking back at it, I feel like damn.
Yeah.
मतलब, like so many things that you do, like at least for personal experience, like so many things that I've done, I look back and like, oh no.
All the
Like
Steve Carell pictures come to mind. What did
uh,
I do?
uh, and I found to like I've like found humor in it, to like get over it. It's like a sort of
That's yeah.
defense mechanism of not cringing myself to
That's the
death.
best way. Yeah.
Yeah, but like humor, right? Like, and I feel like humor has like saved me a lot, especially because I have like had depression for the last 5 years, and one of as soon as like my phases come, I feel like it gets really low, but when I like go watch stand-up comedies, or like go watch something funny, even like something which is not funny for other people is funny for me, like any YouTube video or whatever, it makes me feel very like like damn, I've survived the worst of the worst. And
Nice.
and it's and then there's like it can also become a crutch where like you only are doing this to like get over it, and like
Mm.
are you not then not working on yourself? Are you just like watching funny videos like a maniac
Shit.
the whole day? So that's a question, but I think I've been able to balance it out pretty well. But you, Jose, are like one of the most funniest persons that I've known over the
Hey,
internet.
Pailagu.
Sir.
Don't say.
And you know what? I'm
Hira
gonna
आदमी.
say the same thing about Akhil because he's also like equally hilarious for me.
Oh,
And
bloody hell. I thought
Damn.
I was special over here. And Akhil ko bhi bola.
sorry, sir,
Not so Hira
आपको.
आदमी.
uh, so like, and you for you, Jose, it comes like super like naturally, and you've made content of it for all these years. So like, tell me your journey with like humor, and like has it like helped you in different ways where you must have like felt low, or you must have felt awkward, or
Oh
any of
shit.
those
Yeah,
things.
man.
Yeah,
So uh, not that I need to tell anyone, but humor is my defense mechanism. Also, it's pretty obvious.
very,
So
yeah,
most of the time, that's what I was doing, and same for me also. I mean, not just me laughing at the world or trying to pull humor out of stuff. I also do the same thing where I'll watch content that makes me laugh, or I'll
yeah,
watch stand up, or I'll watch a show, or I'll watch a movie or a YouTube video, or nowadays we're endlessly scrolling through Instagram reels, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? I don't want to judge because I mean it's great.
yeah,
Whatever makes you feel better in this such a joyless world these days, that any little bit of joy that you can pull out of the world, you should take it.
Yep.
Take it
yeah,
immediately and don't even think twice about it. Don't even judge yourself. So yeah, for me, humor big part of growing up and dealing with life. And I feel like
yeah,
if you can't laugh at yourself and the things happening around you, you're screwed, man.
yeah,
Mm.
Becomes very life becomes very intense very fast. And I guess, I mean, Akhil is going to know very soon because he's going into the marriage phase. But literally, once you've grown up and you move into that, I'm married now, I'm working for myself, and I'm earning my own money, you realize life can really be,
True. Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So up to college and all, you're still living with your parents and all. तब तक सब अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है. Then when it starts to when rent and all starts happening, you're like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
this world is hell.
yeah. Once the money that's
Yeah,
coming in that starts going out, and
yeah,
like you realize why it's going out, like fuck, ये तो
yeah.
मैं कभी सोचा ही नहीं था.
And then
These
you
things come in.
understand why your parents were screaming so
Yeah,
much
exactly.
कि क्या कर रहे हो साले कुछ कर. Like, why were my parents so intense all the time, screaming at me? And now I'm like, oh, I get it. Call them up and say,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I was such a terrible child. I'm very sorry.
Hmm.
So yeah, big part of my life has been humor has helped me also. I'm a lot of the time I'm doing it for myself also. I mean,
Yeah.
Hmm.
those videos I sit and watch my own videos and laugh also. I'm not gonna lie, I do that. A
That's
lot of
actually
the views are my
Yeah.
own.
insane. That's actually insane because I know a lot of people can't watch themselves. Like I am one of them. I get a lot of anxiety just like going back and seeing अगर कुछ stream में देखना है जाके. I get a lot of anxiety, but it's quite fascinating that you don't get that.
No, no, it happens to me if I do like cringy stuff and I do some terrible brand promotion and all. Of course, definitely
Hmm.
I feel like. But the stuff that I like and I'm like happy that I did it and all, oh, I'll watch that again and again and be
Hmm.
like, yeah, awesome. And I think that people should do that also. Don't feel bad for it. Like your own shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. Hit like a heart or don't let anyone find out that you did it. But karo.
How? True. I mean, I'm,
Just don't screenshot कि then वो दिखेगा कि तूने ही like किया.
uh,
But
Oh.
yeah.
Uh,
but
hmm.
I think for you, Maz, I think the what you said, like going back and watching your streams, wo wala part is it's I think because like that live stream aspect is very new, and like in general, people like don't like hearing their voice wala jo ek funda
Yeah.
hota na.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Like
true.
I think that's kind of what plays in, because even I don't really enjoy watching like I don't really like watching my streams back.
Yeah.
But recently I've like gone past that point where I now listen to the music that I've already made. Like
Hmm.
now I actually appreciate the song. So pehle it just used to be like, dude, I completely hate this thing
Yeah.
that I've put out.
Yeah.
Now I've like gone past that thing. So I think what Jose is
Pretty
saying,
cool.
like
Yeah.
the things that you actually liked putting out or like making,
Hmm.
they kind of uh
Those will
would.
stand the test of time, more or less.
Yeah,
Yeah. But you're right. Initially, it's true.
initially, yeah.
Everybody hates the way their voice sounds, especially if you
Yeah.
hear it back and you play it back. And it was like that when radio, like the first year of radio, I was like,
Oh yeah.
the hell? What the yuck? I turned the cans off and not listen to it. But I needed to have the cans on. But and now also if I listen to some of the stuff I used to do like many years ago, it feels damn like I'm like, "Yee, I don't like it so much. ठीक है, okay.
Yeah. Um. Well, there was another question that came to mind about like humor and yeah. So like one of the things that I really personally think is like it's I sort of like take pride in like being funny sometimes, right? Like and like and especially this played a huge part in like relationships. Like I got well with people who were also had a sense of humor and also like were funny, and I took it very personally when they did not find me funny. I like used to like really get into my head. I was like, oh fuck, मैंने joke मारा लेकिन ये मतलब reaction आया नहीं. And in
You
general
wanted to be liked. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, pretty much. But like even if they like the way like my kapda pehna या जैसे like if I cook something, but like somehow like humor was always like कि अगर you don't like appreciate my humor, I feel like fuck मेरा self confidence. And this used to be a huge deal for me. Like I've eventually through therapy worked on it and वो सब हो गया अभी ठीक. But yeah, that's like something that definitely happened. And
Same for me also. I mean, bro,
Yep.
even now, if I
hmm,
get a negative comment, I don't know if you guys go through this, but if you get a negative comment, that comment will run through your head the whole day.
yeah,
But
Yes.
like the 50, 100 positive comments, they're
Yep.
all there and they're there for you to see, but they won't stick in your head. And as humans, that's what I'm saying. We're so easily conditioned, so
yeah,
easily manipulated. So the comments section actually worked as a therapist for me. It took so long for me to get over that, and obviously we're all doing this because we want to be liked, we want to be validated, we want
yeah,
people to hit like on our videos and say,
yeah,
"Wow, you're so funny, man. Kaise kar lete ho?" And all. So, so and then I get this one comment, ki, "See, नहीं इसमें वो मजा नहीं आया. And I'd be like, what the why? Why? And imagine running after that one person, and it took some time to realize that you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's such a simple thing, but it's
Yep.
so tough to really grasp it, and
yeah.
really understand what it means. And I'd find myself and find my mind running after that one comment, trying to figure out कि इसको क्यों मजा नहीं आया साला, and then try to reply to that person instead of just saying okay,
Yeah.
ठीक है
Okay.
buddy, have a
Theo.
good night. And there are like बाकी लोग हैं इधर जो उनको मजा आ रहा है,
Yeah,
should continue on there. That's the thing with humans, yeah, we're doomed.
yeah.
Yep.
Doomed from the
Tr-
start.
True. So I think this is something that I'm gonna take a lot of time, like getting used to. Like I'm new to, like, making like this and putting it out there. Luckily Twitch पे रहता है तो लोग सामने ही अगर रहता है तो कुछ बोलते हैं. Like I've had negative comments, but it's like usually trolls आके yo brown boy, or stuff like shit like that.
So what I can tell you from my experience after
Hmm.
all this time is I've realized that if someone has a negative comment, yeah, of course there are some people who feel, maybe they feel like they own you in terms of content because they're that so close to your content, or they love it so much that they
Yeah.
feel like they can give you that kind of feedback, and then people will end up being over familiar. But more often than not, I feel like if someone leaves you like a negative comment and so that's on them, they're going through something. And
Hmm.
and it's very easy to say this and say ki forgive them, be be a sant and be like Are
Yeah.
unko give them a hug and all. But a lot of, and I try to do that also, be like, oh, you're having a bad day, I'm so sorry. And then they'll probably irritate them even more. But so there's two ways I deal with it. One is ki I'm so sorry, I'll try to do better, and they are also like shocked ki अरे मेरे को गाली नहीं दिया वापस. And the other thing to do is उसको वापस गाली दो and then block them so that they cannot give you गाली back. It depends on how you're feeling that day and what you're willing to deal with. So I feel like the only thing I can tell you is key, the world is filled with so many people, and I have to keep telling myself this also, to focus on the positive.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You will get negative, and the more you grow, the more negative comments you'll get.
Yeah, आज
Yeah,
जाके अभी
that
It's
is
ट्विटर
true.
just
पे
it's
बहुत
just a
लोगों को
thing.
ब्लॉक करना है basically, is what I've hearing.
I've
Uh,
Twitter is one of the most. I mean, all social media everywhere there's someone or the other, but I feel like Twitter, because of the way the platform is designed and the way things are, the creator has less content on what shows up under their posts. That was, I guess, it was something that they thought of it as because it's meant to be a news feed, so they didn't want to censor stuff.
yeah.
But then उस सब comment के नीचे सब गाली गलौच and some personal comment and some shit or the other. Very toxic. But it will get toxic. You're gonna have to figure out some way to filter that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Easier said than done.
for sure.
True.
Yeah,
Because whole
yeah.
It is just kind of
Though.
also scary how social media is now, like, becoming an essential part of people's life. Now we've grown without social media, so I don't think we are that attached to it. But people,
yeah,
like, kids who are born in this age, like,
so true.
the thing that Jose said, that one negative comment ke piche bhagna, as compared to the thing, I've already, like, noticing it in my younger cousins and shit, like Instagram and all, where someone would just comment something negative and they would just completely, like, think about it the entire day, like, why did they delete the post, edit it again, post, put it up, and things like that. So I think that's like going to bring in a
Something
major
crazy had
issue.
happened to me once. I think someone sent me some kind of rude message or something. Maybe it was Twitter or something. And I ended up snapping in a conversation with my wife. So I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that's
Damn.
new. And I was like, oh my god, I better end this, otherwise I'm going to be sleeping with the watchman real soon. So that's when I realized that, man, that's really a bad effect. And whether people want to admit it or not, what happens on social media, it's an extension of real life.
Hmm.
True.
Social media is the same as an SMS now. It was not before, but now
Yeah.
people can directly tag you. I mean, I make a joke of it saying that imagine what Amitabh Bachchan has to read every day before he blocks those people. But I seriously mean it. Imagine these
Yeah.
really super huge celebrities, the kind of trash they have to read from people saying the trashiest stuff possible, the lowest of the low. I cannot begin to tell you. You just have to go through their
Yeah.
posts, see.
Yeah.
And they have to read it once at least. You know what I mean? They
To
Yeah.
block, yeah, to come to a decision
before
of
they block it,
blocking.
they go, yeah. And it's not easy to read something like that and just say, Are, ha. But I guess maybe if you're that rich, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
find out one day.
And like especially here, right? Like especially in India, like everyone is like out for everyone. Like the recent India versus Pakistan ka loss ke baad, like everyone like went
It's
for.
everywhere. Social media in general has nurtured this vibe of
Yeah,
pulling people down and like finding something that they did wrong.
yeah,
And like I used to tell someone, you're only as good as your last post, and you're judged on your last post, and what you put out is who you are, when that's not
Yeah,
the truth. Human beings are far more complex than
yeah.
all the posts. Even if you were to document your life on social media, every second of it, they still wouldn't know who you are actually on the
correct.
inside, but they're judging you based on that. So it's a very warped humanities was like we were going the right direction, suddenly we like either say left marte. And people just doing this. It's bonkers, it makes no sense.
So over the years, like now that we're on the topic of toxicity, over the years, how have you like sort of dealt with, like how did you start off and then how are you now in terms of that sort of toxicity that comes, because you do a lot of stuff and some might, there are always people, we also were talking about this
Yeah.
yesterday, everyone's gonna get offended. So how do you deal with it?
Yeah. Even if you're the least offensive person like myself, I would like to believe, there's someone or the other is going to get offended, and kuch na
Yeah.
kuch to hota rahega. I honestly don't know what the right answer is, but there's so much going on the world and so much happening under the surface also, that you don't know whether your emotions are being manipulated or whether what is happening to you is really happening. Like for example, there are huge click farms and huge like bots and all kinds of stuff, and hate movements and stuff like that. And then there's also the very real fact of just human beings reading something and saying, and then outraging, and then they all, and everybody's having the same thought, so they're all messaging at the same time, so that they become a wave of hate
Mm.
towards you, whether you like it or not. So there's parts of it that are real, parts of it that are not real, parts of it that are orchestrated, parts of it that are not orchestrated. And there's so much going on that you have to decide how much of that you want to pull into your life.
Yeah.
And then you try to navigate the internet as best as possible. Muting, blocking are your best tools, but then even with that, I mean, how many people are you going to mute and block?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You spend your whole life muting and blocking people.
Yeah.
So the best you can do is be as genuine as you can be and hope for the best. Usme bhi you'll still get people
Good.
being
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?
true.
I
But
don't
was
like
this
this
your
genuine
perspective?
version."
Was this your perspective from the start, like when you started posting videos on YouTube and maybe you saw that first negative comment or negative tweet or something? Was this your perspective? Has it over the years like built
No,
to
the
this space?
perspective has changed and moved along based on what the stimuli that I've got and based on what has happened
Hmm.
through the years, and just from small learnings here and there. Of everyone starts off like wide-eyed and like, "Chalo,
Yeah.
अच्छा कुछ अच्छा करते हैं," and then somebody, "तेरी माँ का भोसड़ा बहनचोद." You're like, I just posted a picture of my grandmom. How can you say that? You know? You're like, what? What's up with the world? What's going on? And then you start sort of one of the saddest things with the internet has happened to me. I can't. I'll be very honest. Is that you end up self censoring yourself also.
Hmm.
Now, how
Yeah.
much you decide to do it and how much of it you want to do, how much you don't want to do, fight back, all depends on what you're going through in your life, how much you're willing to risk, what you want to do, what you want to say, what you think you're doing. You think you're changing the world when you say something? Do you want to bring this kind of hate into your life? It's all up to you eventually at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like a minefield, man. It's like social media is like that. The mob is there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt there's tons of love and tons of
Yeah.
people who will help, and people form communities and stuff, but there's also this dark
Hmm.
side to it.
Yeah.
Mm. uh, I feel like speaking about just like the social media and like this is something that in terms of mental health it is important, and I always try to talk about this, and I want your perspective over this also, is that when this thing with Sushant Singh Rajput happened, right, on the same day, and then in a next day it came out that it was suicide, and like it was a shock, right? Especially like for a lot of people and for me also. Like I never really followed his career, but like still a young Bollywood actor who seemed to be like doing well.
Yeah.
This happened, and I was like the only silver lining around that part from in my head was like finally we're gonna have that conversation uh about mental health. Finally we're gonna have that conversation about suicide and suicide ideations and depression and all of that. And yeah, that didn't plan out that way at all. That's a whole
Yep.
different thing. But that was the moment I realized that how bad it is in India, where we cannot openly talk about uh, something like that, like something like suicide, or we cannot talk about this on a larger scale, because there's always going to be people who are going to have like s- something to like always push it down. And I don't know, like I haven't seen a major promotional event surrounding mental health in general. The only one I remember is Deepika Padukone doing something about depression like 3-4 years back.
But see, again, this is a really tough conversation because I mean, so many variables. Do you have 4 hours? I'm just kidding. In terms of like where to begin, yeah, the internet is so. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but the internet is filled with so much of fake information. Our news media doesn't do any anything to alleviate that.
Yeah.
You don't know. 90% of the time, you don't know whether the information you're getting is true or not.
Mm,
Now, if I'm going to start the conversation like that, then there's no way to have an informed decision or a conversation about anything.
yeah.
That's really, really sad. That's the situation we are in today. I feel like is that there's no way to have an informed decision unless there are serious hard facts somewhere. You go onto the internet now, there's always one person will say ki ye hai facts. Then somebody will come and say, "Nahi, but ye bhi hai facts," and and opposing sides of things. And then you're like, what are the facts?
Mm,
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So if you say one thing, then you'll have another person saying another thing. But the fact is, at the end of it, one thing we know is you're right about that, is that it's very tough to have a conversation
yeah.
about mental health and about these things because
Yeah.
we don't know. So I honestly I don't even know what to say. I don't even know where to
Yeah.
begin that conversation
Hmm.
I feel like
with
it
this. But
makes people uncomfortable also.
yeah, and
Mm,
also because there's scores of people who are just uh, they're channeling their whether it's their anger or sadness or whatever it is, they're channeling it in all these different ways. You know what I mean? It's and a lot of the time it's not productive, and
Yeah.
there's no closure to anything. I
Hmm.
mean, so what do you do then? What do you do? You can't. It's impossible to have a conversation around it. And if you try
yeah.
to have a conversation about it over here, man, the next thing is your comment section is bombarded with people who are saying that you are part of some Illuminati and ye wo
Yeah.
that. So what do you do then?
Yeah.
So that's extremely sad, I think, where we are right now.
Mm,
And it's not just India. I think the whole world is in this space. I used to believe that social media is going to save us. Social media, internet is going to save us. I'm of the opposite. I feel like it's going to destroy us. It's like the alien
yeah.
that are coming to invade Earth. That's crazy. I genuinely used to think that the internet is going to save us.
Damn.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I've like speaking of like media, right? Like news and everything, and the way they portray things uh around us. Recently with the whole drugs thing happening, and it has happened with Sushant thing also, and it was happening in the current case also. And uh, and I feel like that's also very harmful, especially for people who are like suffering from alcoholism, people who are suffering from like substance abuse, who are like trying to
Yeah.
recover from it. And then here comes the almighty media who's like absolutely trashing,
Like
like calling them
villainizing.
yeah, villainizing them, like
Yeah.
calling them druggies and calling
Yeah.
them uh jo bhi
Reading their
antisocial.
chats and all on
Really,
on
yeah.
TV, man,
Uh,
messed up.
it's like they, if you like if you like portray them in such a evil nature, and then they are trying to like I'm not even talking about like Aryan Khan. Like it's unfortunate and whatever it is, but like
Anyone, yeah.
people who are actually struggling with and who is like trying to get better, because it is a hard thing to leave or like clean up.
Yeah.
And then here comes everyone who watches this media and they tell them, आप तो ड्रग्स लेते थे, आप तो ड्रगी हो, आपका तो कुछ होगा नहीं, आप तो ऐसे हो, आप तो वैसे हो.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, अपना न्यूज़ मीडिया को क्या करना चाहिए था? They should have been giving us stats and facts on
Yes.
what is happening with drugs in our country. What
Hmm.
is happening? Have they been to, like, for example, a Kripa Foundation where people are in rehab?
Oh,
What are
son,
those
yeah.
people going through? How did they get there? Do you parade those people on TV? And do you say कि अरे ये druggy है, इसको भेजो into rehab? How are you helping them
Yep.
in any way?
Yeah.
Are they even asking the questions? Where is it coming from? You're catching the end user.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
easy. This is that वो मेरे को 100 एक पेज का पैराग्राफ लिखना है एग्जाम के लिए, मैं एक भर दूंगा इसमें कड़ 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 कड़
कुछ भी लिख के, yeah.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. And it's an
Hmm.
uncomfortable conversation, and the media is not ready to hear it. It's all this tabloid journalism,
Hmm.
so to
Hmm.
speak.
Hmm.
Bro, how many different versions we've seen of this whole case that went on in the past week? I'm sure everybody is going through, Twitter, different scores and seeing, अभी ये minister ने ये बोला, अभी उसका rival minister ने ये बोला, अरे बाप रे, अभी इसने ये paper निकाला, ये paper. What is this?
Yeah.
What is the conclusion? It's a free for all.
True. Yep.
And you know how the news media is, na? They won't tell you the truth. They'll just tell you what somebody else is saying. ये मिस्टर ए ने बोला ये, मैं उसका वो ये रिपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ कि इज व्हाट मिस्टर ए इज सेइंग ट्रू और नॉट, वो हमारा काम नहीं है.
वो पता नहीं.
वो पता नहीं, बट वो अपने को बता रहा है तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. दिस इज हाउ दे फंक्शन.
Yes, true. Yeah.
व्हाट
I mean, the
नॉनसेंस.
best example of that is the video you made also, right? The 2000 rupees GPS, nano GPS
या
thing. In a newsroom, they are discussing that it has a GPS and shit like that. That
दे डिडंट
satellite
बॉदर
पे
टू डू
होगा.
एनी वर्क
Nothing
अराउंड दैट.
exactly. It's
Uh,
But there was something really funny happened later, I'd missed that clip. I saw it later. Some journalists, after all this news happened and all, they were testing to see कि उसके अंदर chip है कि नहीं. You could have just felt the note and checked.
oh my
But
god.
there's a news report somewhere where this lady journalist, she takes the note and she puts it in a freezer, and they do a time lapse and they say कि अभी हम लोग वापस आ जाएंगे 6 घंटे के बाद चेक करने के लिए कि इसके अंदर क्या है
Oh
ना.
my
What the,
god.
they really did this, and hats off to them for trying. But you didn't need to put it in the freezer for 6 hours and then do a time lapse and all. You could have just held the note in your hand.
But also here's
it's
the thing,
funny
right?
though, right? Like, didn't the government release these notes and I don't know, and then that in this way aren't they like questioning the government then?
My other theory is कि actually है उसमें chip, and they want people to think कि नहीं है उसमें, and सब लोग पकड़े जाएंगे.
That would be
God
genius.
damn it,
If
dude.
imagine,
You know,
dude.
you
Oh my
started
god.
something, Abhi.
Yep.
This is what like flat earthers are waiting for. मतलब ऐसे कोई famous बंदे ने ऐसे मजाक में भी कुछ बोल दिया कि oh damn, maybe earth is
Yeah.
maybe edge है वहाँ पर कहीं तो भी. They're like yo, मिल गया bro, मसाया मिल गया. It's
Man.
it's weird. Today only like have you seen that video where this person in Yamuna का नदी के बाहर पाइप लेके
The-
खड़ा था, पानी डाल रहा था नदी में? Have you not seen that, Jose?
No,
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god.
I'll check it
Oh,
out.
Yeah, yeah.
basically this dude is like वो पानी डाल रहा है यमुना, and apparently the government officials have told it कि इससे वो क्या pollution या
Toxicity कम होगा
toxicity कम
उसका
होएगा. नदी में पाइप लेके पानी डाल रहा है.
ऊपर से.
And he has to do it for like 6 hours.
Nothing is beyond.
And this guy is not a random guy. Okay, wait. I'll just pull. I just saw it somewhere. He's like some official from Jal something.
Oh, the water board. He's from the
Yeah,
water board.
something like that. I don't remember
Oh,
exactly. Twisty ने tweet किया था. Oh yeah.
we.
We are sprinkling water in the Yamuna to dissipate toxic foam, says Ashok Kumar, Delhi Jal Board employee.
Oh my God. Was it special water, like treated water? My
Not,
mind now always, I'm trying to find like some logical explanation to maybe wo aadmi sahi aadmi hai, and if the because so many times I've seen the public go crazy and outrage over stuff, and that person was just trying to do something decent.
true.
How
Yeah.
impossible! I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, man. The
I
one thing I know is I don't know anything.
the
That's
one
for
thing
sure.
I know is that you're gonna make a video on this.
Oh, I've not seen it. I must check it out though.
I think
It's
there's
hilarious.
potential there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Mad,
your brain
mad.
works, but it will probably have a video of
I'll
it.
check it out.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Too sad they can't spray water in Twitter to wash away the toxicity.
No, but I think about this a lot,
Mm,
like I said, some of it is real, some of it is manipulated, some of it is what scares me is how much of it is real. And if it is real, where are we going?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
the
That
question that
that
keep you up
bothers
on
that
nights. Yeah.
yeah, that bothers me more than like look, if it's click farms and it's people who are manipulating things, great, then कि
Hmm.
ऐसा हो रहा है. But if people are actually behaving bonkers because they are like that, then
Hmm.
what the hell do we do?
Yeah.
Then I have
Yeah.
to tell myself, no, no, empty vessels make the most noise and crazy people are louder. You know what I
True.
mean? And but then is that then what do
What
all
do
the
we do?
sane
Yeah,
all
because
the
like those
sane people
people
are
are
just watching
influenced.
from the side? Yeah, those
They are
people are
influencing
influencing what's
other people.
happening. So you're like, wow, man, this is so weird. We live in strange times. There's no doubt about that. It's
True.
very, very different time.
You know how you were talking about like how the celebrities have to like watch all these things before they like delete or block or उनके
Yeah.
PR करते रहेंगे जो भी है जो भी करता है. I feel like one of the things that I had this opportunity to work in this one company where they wanted me to be a therapist for a group of people who used to work in moderation. Like they used to do the mod work for like websites like
Oh, okay.
uh, Facebook or Twitter. And I feel like those people have it the worst because they are watching shit which is disturbing on a
Yeah, I
daily
was what
basis.
I saw a documentary about this where people had to go through like yeah, people who are who have to do this like check the internet for like when people report
A post or
terrible
anything. Yeah.
posts and stuff. They're feeding all this into their brains and they're
Yeah,
getting saying that's possibly the
that
worst thing to
is.
deal with.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's what I kept thinking. Like, oh, the amount of shit they have to go through on Twitter, on Indian Twitter, daily, where there are like
Yeah,
always like fights between two religions happening, and there are
yeah,
like all sort of videos posted. Those are the people who like need absolute like help,
Yep.
yeah. They
Because
and
they are
should be given
basically.
and I hope
free
they
Yep.
do
access
it
to
for like
therapists and all.
oh, yeah. I hope they have free access to therapists there. And
Doubt
I
it though.
think if the company was gonna hire, then they were gonna pay for everything, anyways.
Probably.
But yeah,
Hopefully. That's what we hope.
hopefully, yeah.
But that's almost hoping that they're shoving all this into your brains and then thinking कि यार ये therapy से हो जाएगा. It's not necessarily the
नहीं
case.
होएगा, yeah,
You,
exactly,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? It's
I agree,
your
yeah.
really your
Therapy in general is like it's not gonna solve all of your problems and not gonna solve. One thing
yeah,
that people not don't realize about therapy is it's not an instant problem solve. It's a process. No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a huge
So
process,
true.
and it takes like
Like some people will do one, two
years sometimes.
sessions, three sessions and be like, "Arey, this is not helping me."
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that, and there are people from my life also who have gone through, and I've seen amazing change, man. After like, and they feel it also, but it takes time. It takes time. You have to stick with it. It becomes uncomfortable for you also. I've seen times where they wanted to stop also,
Yeah.
but they didn't, and they kept on going with it. And then at the end of it, they were better for it. So that's another thing I think people really don't get. They feel like even 4 sessions, 5 sessions, it's like it's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the beginning, and only if you allow yourself to begin.
Yeah.
Like if you're close enough, also it might take even longer than that.
Yeah. Have you been to therapy?
I have not actually been through
Mm-hmm.
therapy. I remember, like I said, if I was from that time where it was not even a thing,
Yeah.
and then later when it was a thing when I was older, I always felt like, Arey, I'm too scared to go to therapy because what if they find out more about me that I don't? I was be like, oh
Yeah.
God, will they report me to the
Oh,
police?
what?
I don't I'm
So
just
fu-
kidding about the police things. Am I kidding? But I remember that being a thought in my mind. Ki, oh
Yeah.
my God, because you feel like the therapists are always analyzing you. This, come on,
Mm.
they have better things to do. They'll
Yeah.
analyze you only when you're in the room.
Oh, dude, for a long time
Yeah,
I thought Akhil is like really thinking about this, but he's just
yeah.
frozen.
Uska network ka issue. He's done.
Uh,
But yeah,
but
but
hmm.
eventually, I think maybe at some point I would not be closed off to going through that to get to
Yeah,
just to get because I'm like I keep saying, I'm from that time where we didn't spend enough time trying to get to know ourselves. We
yeah,
just keep on plowing through life and keep going when
yeah,
it's such an essential part of life to get to know who you are exactly,
yeah.
so to speak. Yeah, I'm not averse to it. I just have not been through it so far.
But like that's the thing I keep talking about though, right? About therapy. Like I've told this to like I feel like even if you don't have major problems in life, it's something that you can always experience once.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone, because like it's just about like normalizing it at this point. Like especially in India, there's a need to normalize therapy.
yeah.
Because there's
Yeah,
so
like you
many.
said, it's not necessary that you have to be going through something really hardcore in your life. It could just
Hmm.
be like something on a smaller level also, which is just as
Yeah,
because everyone's universe is their own universe. So it doesn't have to be something so hardcore. Also, like you said, it should get to a point where it's normalized. Like when
yeah,
you have a cold, you go and see a doctor and you get some medicines, right? It's not a big deal,
yeah.
but you go and get yourself checked.
Agreed.
Welcome back, Akil.
Hello.
Um. Yeah, we were just like talking about therapy, and I know Akhil like you wanted to start, and I never knew that if you did or did not.
No, I haven't yet.
You
But
haven't.
yes, I am considering. But
Hmm.
अभी शादी
अभी
के
शादी हो
preparation
रहा
में बहुत
है.
but
uh,
I'm actually, since the past few weeks I have actually considered, and I've also like downloaded the list that you have on your stream. So
hmm.
people, if and like the people who are watching and want a list of therapists, you can just put exclamation therapy and you'll get a list of I guess they are licensed therapists, right, Mas? You can, I think you would be
Yes.
better to
Yeah, yeah.
explain that.
Most of them are licensed therapists, and some of them are not. But they are also therapists that I sort of trust enough to be.
People you
They
know,
have
all
the
right.
experience basically. They have like years and years of experience. That's the thing that's always going to be a thing. Like there are not enough licensed therapists, and I want licensed therapists to be there, but again they're not enough, and then you can't just like always be looking out for them. They need to make sure that the therapist is competent enough, and the only
Yeah.
way you can do it is, I don't know, through intense research, or you ask a friend who is doing therapy,
I
or
guess
who's
the
a
best way
therapist.
is word of mouth when you know someone you trust tells you about someone they trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone in the chat, if you need it, you could always like drop me a message on Discord. um
Please share that list with me. I'll drop that list over on my Discord also.
I'll share it to you on Twitter only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we actually have like a channel which is this. We had started it off for the love advice thing,
Huh.
and then we have a feelings channel where
Hmm.
Oh.
people can
Hmm.
just come in and unload whatever they're feeling,
Yeah.
and sometimes they just want to be heard. They don't even want advice.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Some people will try to give them advice here with the set, but and it's amazing, man. These people are, and like I said, there's so many like freaky people out there, but there's so much of love also, and so many people who are trying to help each other. Also, they'll go out of their way, and I think that's another side effect of the pandemic. Although there's
Yeah.
that side effect of everyone getting isolated, there are also people who go out of their way to help. So just like that, I think it's really crazy to see this community over here where people they go out of their way to help each other, and they'll
100%. Yeah.
they'll try to like console each other. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Like I think certain communities are just like so so good. Like especially I call my community like one of the best communities out there, because there are so many people out there who are like willing to help you without even asking. and
Yeah.
they like go out of their way to like make sure you're okay, make sure you have all the things needed. Even if it is like someone who's like harassing them somewhere, they come to you and they like, let's
Yeah.
we
And
have
I
this.
also feel like it's a function of the way the social the platform is set up. Like I was saying, Twitter's set up for this. Someone types something, someone types a counterpoint
Yeah,
or comes up with
Hmm.
some dirt on you from 12 years ago or
yeah.
something. But I found that Discord was not like that. And I started this Discord over during the pandemic only. We met a couple of seriously amazing people.
Mm,
They became mods. They started like sort of managing the Discord. Anyone being toxic, boom, they were out. We didn't waste too much of time with that. We
Yep.
sort of like try to keep that vibe going on, and then they built this whole community where people are helping each other. So I definitely feel like it's the way the platform is set up
mm,
is
Yep.
that what makes attracts those kind of people, I would
yeah.
say.
Discords.
Discord Zindabad. Right now Discord is going through that whole NFT discussion and all. People like
Oh
still
yeah, I
Discord,
saw that.
NFTs teri maa ka, Discord band.
But that is also very weird. Like every time any platform just goes slightly towards a direction where they could earn more money, people are like, "Aisa kar sakta hai tu? What is this?"
I always, like I was telling people, with news and with any information, I feel like wait. I used to say wait 2-3 days to see ki kya sach hai, kya nahi hai. I mean,
Hmm.
but now with the amount of misinformation that's out, you have to wait for at least a week.
Yeah.
Even a week
Yeah.
sometimes is less. You don't know. Like then you're like, acha, okay, we'll wait for 2 weeks and see ki kya hota hai before you form your own opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
that's if you
exactly.
really
Yeah.
must form an opinion.
Oh, okay, okay. You put the Discord. Okay, I was also doing the same. Nice.
Yeah, I put it.
Yeah. uh, mm,
People are asking about your Discord link, Jose.
yeah.
So
Oh, nice. Yeah, dal
Um,
denge.
right. What I am so lost. What were we talking about again?
we are
Discord
talking
and
about
communities, and
Discord.
yeah, this was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Uh, no, just like wholesome. Yeah, we were talking about like no, I was talking. So Akhil, me, and another friend of ours, Beaver, and
Oh
there are like
yeah.
two more friends. Were talking about like doing this it's like a mental health platform, but not it's again not medical advice or not like professional advice, which was basically like where people would say they have a problem and they need someone to talk about, then there will be like people who are ready to talk about that stuff, and then we can like all sit down and talk about it. Basically it was going to be called it will be called londebulao.com. uh,
Nice.
yeah, so
Lordeblow.com.
That idea actually started out from the concept of if you're in a fight and you wanted people, you would log on to that website and
Oh, that's
rug par ke
hilarious.
laundeenge. But then Maz was like, hold on, let's turn it into an actual positive thing.
Yeah, that's
So
so
like
nice.
yeah,
Imagine a whole truck full of people come out. They're like, okay, aa jao, bhai log, hold my hand.
hugs de do.
You hug him. That's it. प्यार दो भाई प्यार प्यार.
uh, uh,
And we actually have purchased the domain. We just now
yeah.
need
Oh
to
my god.
develop the platform.
Yeah, I
Damn.
think we were just like waiting for like me to finish doing my rehabilitation center ka work. Abhi wo khatam ho gaya. Now
Hmm.
we'll like focus on this.
Amazing,
Should be
amazing.
fun though. Yeah.
It's actually kind of similar to the feelings channel that you mentioned. Just people just kind of putting
Nice.
up a message over there, and then anyone, and it's like we are kind of thinking about it as a public thing. Like you can see all the messages, and then you can reply
Yeah,
uh, based on which you want to. If not,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I guess there's be a lot of work and moderation and
a
everything
lot
will
of
have to
work,
go
yes.
into it. Yeah. But it's something I'm like super excited about in
Yeah.
general.
Nice, man.
And like, okay, then speaking of this, right? So when we were talking about Sushant Singh ka case and all of that, let's say things in an ideal world, things would have gone where like we actually had the discussion. What do you guys think is the ideal way of going towards increasing the discussion about mental health in India?
That's a
Man, I
broad
don't know.
question.
Give a broad answer.
To
Like that's
start with,
that's
I think,
exactly what Jose said, right? I don't know where to start.
Yeah, man.
the answer
But
with.
but
If
maybe the start
you
is
would.
more representation of qualified people from
Hmm.
the field in mass media,
Hmm.
Hmm.
because right now, like, it's isolated to people's own channels, own Twitters, this, that, the other. But then now mass media has to want to do something like that. Mass media is busy running after the biggest story.
Yeah.
Usko
Yeah.
jo eyeball milega. They're not really supposed to be for the. They're supposed to be working for the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just want the public to come and do like Nanga Nach on their channel. Care
Yeah.
about one.
I think in that
So
situation, like maybe if there was a professional who came on a, a normal interview on a news channel and kind of explained what might have caused this, like that could have been a good start, I think. Like, just kind of making people aware, how does the mind lead to that position of
Hmm.
uh
Because like
that thought of suicide.
yeah, I'm just surprised because like I think we have the resources, right? In India, a lot of people have a lot of resources where they could like go all out with this, and I don't think I see that as much. Yeah, and or maybe we haven't reached that point. Maybe we will reach there in like 10 years, but I think that's 10 years are too much. So
see,
yeah,
another. I don't know whether this is controversial or not, but at this point now, I feel like because there's so much of discourse around it, whether it actually happened, whether it didn't happen, and stuff, and then tying mental health to a to something that happened in the media or was a big thing in the media. I think that's a big mistake to start off with. This is my personal opinion,
yeah,
because
fair enough. Yeah,
already there's like a divide there. Ki
Hmm.
there you will have half people saying, I mean, then everyone is not in agreement. You know what I mean?
hmm.
In terms of, hey, this is the
Yeah,
direction we need to go from. You're going to end up starting off from a point of,
hmm.
did it, is this real? Is this not? Which is not a great place to start something off like that, I feel.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
So I think that's a big like the starting point has to be something which is not connected to.
Yeah, I think my question was in general, like
Yeah.
not that, but like in general, if you want to start it, like out of a neutral plane, where would you start and how would you go about it, basically? But yeah, I think what you guys said makes sense.
But then again, you know how things are in this world. Now I was going to say in our country, but in this world, where we are reactive in nature, we do things only when something really like hits the fan.
Hmm.
Otherwise, nothing. I mean, so much of the change in laws and change in things that happen because something happened to someone somewhere, it became a big deal, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, I think that's like the biggest problem. Like for example, like we only talk about men's mental health when we're like putting down some woman जो कुछ किया वो
yeah,
कोई
yeah,
लड़की ने
or
कहीं
some
किसी को
incident has
थप्पड़
happened.
मारा,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
That's the only
exactly.
time we talk about men's mental health. Where I think
Hmm.
like we should like talk about men's mental health just because it is important.
Mental health.
Mental health,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
But
And then when you do men's mental health, then it becomes a, oh, this is
हाँ.
women's mental health, and
Yeah.
people
mm,
divide there also, and then you're
mm,
like, oh
Like
god,
ये सिर्फ मेंस मेंटल हेल्थ का बात करता है, ये
yeah.
yeah.
पेट्रियार्क है एंड स्टफ.
Yeah. Healthy balance, I guess. But
We're,
like
we're
even with
basically reaching the conclusion that humanity is doomed,
yeah,
and
I
there's
think
nothing
that's
we
the
Yeah.
can do.
conclusion with like most podcasts. It's just like try to do your best to survive, but yeah,
we
you're
Yeah.
tried.
fucked.
We tried to discuss this, but I mean, sorry guys, doesn't seem to be any
If we
solution.
can't solve it, then yeah, humanity is doomed.
Nobody can.
Uh, it's a specific date someone put. Humanity was doomed in 2017. I'm scared to ask why.
But 2017.
Yeah.
But I wonder. I genuinely wonder. You know how, yeah, in the superhero films and stuff, there's an alternate timeline.
Hmm.
Mm.
Happen if there was no social media, where would we be genuinely as an? I think we'd still be spiraling towards the end. There's no doubt about it, but in a different way, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we would be in
Damn,
like
what would be
flying
those
cars.
ways though, dude? Do you think
Now we would
do you
just
think
be.
we would have flying cars only because we didn't have social media?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we would have been there quicker.
Yeah, we
We would
would
have
have
been there
been there
quicker.
quicker. Yeah.
Like I was saying, we were already hurtling to the
Huh.
and then social media came and we all felt like, अरे ये तो अपने को बचाने वाला है भाई. Oh wow, look at what we can do with the internet and social media. And then now you're like, look at what we are doing with social media and the internet. ये क्या कर रहे हो?
Oh no.
But what is actually surprising is social media. I think not. I think like I saw that Netflix documentary. Right? What was that? What was it called?
Oh, that's a
Clickbait.
great one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing. So
I
like
remember.
the people actually said that when these platforms were getting built, it was never the intention to be used the way it is being used right now.
Correct.
It just kind of, since there were no um like proper legislature controlling these platform, controlling the internet in general, they just kind of took a shape of its own. Like it just became the monster it is now, but it did
Man, that
not start with that
that
aim ever.
yeah, there's a crazy discussion about this. And again, I really look it up. There's something about like when big tech companies and anyone who's inventing something, there's a certain term for it which I cannot remember now, but you're supposed to think of a worst case scenario.
Hmm.
Okay, worst case use scenario. And even then, you know how humans are, right? We figure out some way to get around
Yeah.
that even. So you're supposed to apparently use your think tanks to come up with the worst case possible scenario. And there's this mad, if you start digging for this on the internet, now there's so much of great information and videos on this. So Tesla had created this semi-automated car, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so when they started doing this, it was not meant to be, you're not meant to sit in there and leave the wheel and go to sleep. But people started doing that. So then there were accidents, apparently, for legal reasons. We have to say apparently. And and then what they did was is they put sensors in the seat and sensors in the steering wheel to so to tell the car that the human is holding the steering wheel, continue going. If you let go of that, it would disengage the car
Hmm.
or whatever. People figure out ways around that also. They were putting little stuffed toys over there to hold
Oh
on to the
wow.
steering wheel and putting little weights on the seat and then sitting on the other side and letting the car do its thing. So, and I remember reading about this and saying, man, and they didn't think about this.
Hmm.
They didn't even realize this could be a thing. And that's where that discussion about when you're inventing something, you have to think of like the
Yeah.
worst case scenario. But even worst case scenario, we are
That is
we're
true,
on
right?
another level
Yeah, people like always would find a way around things,
around things.
no matter how much you plan it.
Yes, yes, an interesting question. Don't you think due to social media and internet, more people are becoming depressed than earlier, as it is easy to go off track and just escape and keep stimulating the minds? Earlier,
I think
people
so. I
like
would
our
agree.
parent generation were busy making ends meet.
Now, I won't. I don't think I would agree that earlier generation were not equally depressed, if
Mm,
not less or more. But I think
Yeah.
social media is one of the key factors for people in this era. Generation is a very narrowed down word. I feel like this era.
yeah.
I think social media is very a key factor.
Mm,
But yeah, I would also say that back like our parents' generation, I think they were also equally depressed because of different reasons.
yeah.
Like घर पे पैसा नहीं है and 10 भाई लोग है.
Yeah. Their anxiety was coming from different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not qualified to answer that well enough, but I feel like you probably heard this also, is that human beings are not made to be processing so much of information all the time, 24/7,
Yeah.
Hmm.
being
Of course.
bombarded with news
Yeah.
from all over the world. All the crazy shit
Yeah.
that's happened around the world is all happening on your phone within like three scrolls.
Hmm.
And you're like, man, oh my God. So I feel like that has upped the
Hmm.
internet, as great as it is giving us so much of the other side of things also. Is that probably it's probably made it worse.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I did not know that fact that like human beings are not programmed to take in so much information.
As in, I personally
I
also
don't.
don't think that's what they say, but
Hmm.
Mm,
I don't know
But
who
no, I
they are.
can I can kind of see how it might be true.
But imagine you're getting the world's news in like 5 minutes. Before you'd
True.
watch a news channel and you'll get a 20 minute where you'll get something about your own country and three, four
Yeah.
different stories, blah blah blah. Now you're getting all of it. all of it,
immediately.
everything that's
Yeah.
wrong with the world, you know in like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, true. All you have to do is just open an app and what scroll. Not
Yeah.
even that. Like if you're on Android or whatever, like that Google notification comes in
वो
immediately.
pop-up आ जाएगा
Ah,
in your area. This is what's happening. Like I don't want to know what the hell.
Yeah, not even like in your area, it's just like some shooting in like the states, or like the
yeah,
live
just
updates keeps coming. It's weird. Yeah, I agree. Like just too much information एक साथ would 100% give you a lot of anxiety, and would 100%
It's
give
and that's
makes.
part of the reason why I stopped using Twitter as much also, is because Twitter really is more into that than other
Hmm.
platforms.
Yeah.
Just dumping stuff on you non-stop, stuff that you don't even want.
Yeah.
So I've stopped using that as a news source. It used to be amazing as a news source, but it's so hyper real time. Like something's as it's happening, you're getting updates on it, which you
yeah,
don't know are true or not.
Yeah.
That's another layer there in
yeah.
there. So I was
And
like,
also
man,
like the character limit doesn't really help.
yeah, yeah, that is such a big flaw, right? And we don't even
If you're
realize
if you're
that.
making it as a news platform and then you're limiting the characters.
Crazy. This is why I play video games to escape.
Okay,
I don't know
let's
if you
come to the
guys use it
important
the
things
same way.
now. Video games. So,
They
so
are the
yeah.
cause of violence. Okay, so they
Yeah,
are why people, children, hate other children and stuff.
parents who are letting their children play these games, they are the cause.
I
True. Yes.
think Akhil was talking about this only now, and like I've worked in hospitals that look after children with disabilities, or children with autism or ADHD or mental retardation, whatever. And it's insane how many parents just casually just hand over a video game just so that the
You
child is
would keep quiet.
distracted.
Yeah.
Again, it's
Yeah.
very hard for a parent to have a child who has these disabilities, but then again, you can't just distract your child like that. And these are just like this, and I feel like even parents with children who don't have this disability do the same thing, in order to distract. They just give them
Yep.
the mobile, and then they baat mein worry ke damn pura time mobile pe, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, without judging and being as clinical as possible, because I mean everybody's going through shit like we discussed earlier.
hmm,
Is that it's very tough. Also, some parents are dealing with more of the world's weight, and they have no option but to do that. But how do they get their
hmm.
work done? Here, tablet, here,
Hmm.
phone, whatever. But the end result is what's not really working
True.
out. So yeah,
Maybe you know what. So here's also my counterpoint on that. I think like in like today's day and age of technology, I don't think you can keep a child away from
you can't.
technology, right? Like mobile
Can't.
phones and shit. Like when we were young, we had those fucking dabba PCs which used to take 10 minutes to turn
Yeah,
on and shit. So even if you wanted to play a game, it was only that one device that provided you with entertainment and things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And if like at least for me personally, it was highly regulated. Like दिन में सिर्फ 2 घंटा
Same,
PC पे खेलना
same,
है,
same.
nothing after that. And so I think if you apply the same kind of thing in today's kids, you give them the tablet, give them the phone, but if you like kind of regulate the use, like 1 hour, that's it. Now you go and do your homework or whatever.
That's the only way. That's really the only way.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I used to feel this, but I know for a fact that when I was younger, I was not even allowed. We couldn't afford a computer, so I harassed my dad for the longest time. Ki please, please, ये वो compact Presario आया था, and there was this game called Relentless. When I think about it now, back then I was like, wow, क्या graphics है, and now when I think about it, what the hell, it's some stick figure shit. But I remember wanting that really badly, and I got it only after a really long time. Okay, and I think it consumed me so much that now, when I was able to afford it myself, I became obsessed with computers and building my own stuff and having games and stuff. I think that's what made this
Mm.
version of me is that this key. No, you cannot have it. It's like I will
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, that could be true, because even I remember it was the same for me. like for the longest time I never had the a good performing PC. Like I
Wow.
remember like not crying but like feeling sad because GTA Vice City nahi chalta tha PC mein.
Yeah.
And I used to play FIFA 6 when FIFA 9 had come out and things like that. So
Wow.
like I used to like
Crazy,
play
crazy.
earlier games and shit. So I think also that also like played a very important role. That when I can afford it now, I'm like, yeah, अभी तो मैं रोज
चाहिए ही चाहिए मरने
Yeah.
से पहले.
I think I've always like had a console. It's like in 2021 that I built a PC finally. But
Wow.
yeah, I've never been a PC person at all. Even now, I think I'm pretty new. Uh,
wow.
नहीं चाहिए तो दे दो अपने को parts.
no, no, chill, no.
Hmm.
What is your like? What are your specs for your PC?
I am now on a 2080 Ti
Mhm.
and I have a 3900X Ryzen 9. But
Nice.
before this, I was on an i7, really old i7 870. It was
Hmm.
the first gen with a GTX 980.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. That's
But,
that's
but
a
that
really
was
nice
after like
upgrade.
a long, long time. मतलब कुछ था ही नहीं उसके पहले. कुछ नहीं था.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was the first genuine like serious like PC. I still have the GTX 980. In fact, I kept all the parts and stuff from before because I was like I cannot throw this out. And recently I repurposed the whole thing. I repasted the GPU and everything, and it still works.
damn.
Yeah, yeah, it's killer.
Wait, you also have a PS5, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
चलो चलो
there's the
सब
flex. Yeah.
Yeah.
चलो चलो
I
मेरे
just saw
पास
his
ये
video like 1 week with PS5. And I'm like,
I
okay,
I need to
cool.
update that and make more videos. I forgot about it.
Best PS5 unboxing I ever saw. It seems.
True. True.
So crazy.
Wait, so do you
That
also have those wheels for driving games?
I do actually
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
one.
Of
I've
course,
got a
Beaver
nice.
would bring it up.
Beaver. Yeah, of
Managed
course,
to
Beaver.
get that nice
Mm,
managed to get one hold of that nice frame. Before I used to connect it to the table and all, but once you get
yeah.
a frame for the pedals and all, you can literally push it like you would push a real vehicle. So it adds to that immersion. It's
Yeah.
bonkers, bro. It's damn
Mm.
good.
What sort of racing games do you play now?
So Assetto Corsa, Forza 4. I've not picked up 5 yet. I don't know. This kitna backlog hai. Wow, who are these people who are buying games the moment?
ये
What is
सब लोग
wrong?
Xbox Game Pass वाले लोग हैं.
Yeah, you're right. And they're putting screenshots saying you're from Forza 5.
Yeah.
Ye haram.
Last night only people were playing Forza
Yeah,
5, I
in
guess,
the VC, no? Up,
in
no?
the VC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that you're gonna wait a little while before they're fully debugged to the point where they run really well. So
Mm-hmm.
now this whole 1 2 months you'll hear people complaining, "Hey, मैं ये किया डिस्क नहीं होता है स्ट्रीम, अरे ये क्रैश हो गया, अरे ये frames drop हो रहा है."
Yeah. I think Maz, after you went, no, but he was kind of
Oh,
experiencing some bugs.
okay.
So yeah. But I think
So,
that's though like
mhm.
that's a given thing in games no now. Like release होने के बाद you have to wait 2 months to get debugged.
But then when it's coming from something that was made for something else and then porting on the और थोड़ा extra बढ़
Ah,
जाता है. You
yeah.
have to
फिर
wait
तो
थोड़ा extra. But yeah,
what
but चाहिए तो चाहिए ही, but not right now.
what has been like one of your favorite games to play ever? I actually give me top 5 if you can.
My God, hold on. I'll tell you why via
Colos,
playtime.
Steam Colo.
Activity,
you know
activity.
what? Can I guess the first game? Because I remember hearing it somewhere in Khan Masti.
What?
Like the game, no, the game, not first game, the game that you've played the most.
Okay.
Like back then, wo episode mein,
Oh my God, go for it. Let's see.
it was XCOM 2.
Yo, nailed it.
Yeah, let's go.
You're right.
It's
I
my
have
favorite game also.
199 hours on XCOM 2.
Yeah, dude, it's
The
an
long
amazing game.
is bomb. XCOM 2 is amazing. Even XCOM 1. And
One as
imagine
well, yeah.
in my top 5 is XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Of
131
course, yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So I have XCOM 2. This is just by playtime, 199 hours on record. Have you played Battletech since you're into turn based?
No, I haven't. I
Battletech
know the
is
game though. Yeah.
amazing. It is amazing. What an experience that was. 197 hours. Just 2 hours less than XCOM 2. I didn't know I was
हो
so
जाएगा
addicted.
आज रात को हो जाएगा.
Rocket League.
Oh,
Um,
Oh no.
oh
lots,
no.
lots of Rocket League. And we were playing CS and all before Steam started tracking how much you were playing, right? So I have like
Hmm.
I don't know how many, but it's not there. My now Counter Strike will
Hmm.
show 3 hours or something. But we played our whole lives
Yeah.
in the office,
Yeah,
and all.
true.
People are losing their collective shit over Rocket League. We have a
Yeah.
big Rocket League fan base. I actually we know the best
Mm,
Rocket League players in India.
Yup.
what do you
The
say?
best Rocket League
Yeah.
players. Are they here? I don't know.
I don't know.
They're
Mido.
playing Rocket League.
They are
Oh
top.
yeah,
They are
probably
top.
playing Rocket League. Yeah.
They were what, top 16 in the world or something. Like at least in the tournament, like the international tournament.
Yeah.
Then have you guys played Faster Than Light?
I
Faster
haven't
than
no.
light,
FTL,
no.
FTL, another amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
What is it about?
my God. So Faster Than Light is you play as a ship of people. You go to different galaxies and you keep trying to reach the end. Just check it out. I mean, it's very tough to explain. And it was an indie
Oh,
game,
it's a science
hugely
fiction
popular.
type.
Hmm.
I have 120 hours in that game. That's ridiculous. It should not have been more than 70, but yeah. Then another gem was Chimera Squad, XCOM only.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I couldn't get enough of XCOM, and I was like, "Arey, ek aur XCOM game, yes!" So then
XCOM is so nice.
a lot of time in Elite Dangerous.
Nice. That's like a serious version of No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I literally going to different planets and trying to
Yeah.
land. Oh, man, the number of hours I
I had
spent there.
read somewhere that there's like a group of people in Elite Dangerous who like rescue people who are
Yeah,
stranded.
they call the rats. Sorry, Rugrats or something.
Yeah,
Rugrats.
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. So there's that. Then then lately I got really very heavily into V. Then there's Into the Breach.
Oh, Into the
So
Breach,
many.
yeah. I got it free on Epic.
The same people who did FTL, I think. Is
Acha.
it? No, I can't remember. I'm not sure. Take everything here with a pinch of salt. I don't know. But
Yeah.
recent activity,
People are
man.
like flaming you for only having 199 hours. But then, guys, that's why he's like, has a million
Yeah.
followers on Twitter, and you don't.
I played offline, guys. Then I mean, so much, man. We played. I'm now realizing that I spent a lot of time playing games, effect games. Um, I've then what else? Oh, bro, are you all into? Have you watched Attack on Titan?
No.
There are people who
There,
have watched
But there
that.
are
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
would.
for
So yeah,
sure. Anime
go ahead
fans,
and
yeah.
there is an Attack on Titan game. So for the people who don't know about it, it's about humanity is stuck behind a wall and so on. There are these huge giants look
Yeah.
just like humans that eat people. It's extremely gory and stuff, but
Oh.
you can play as a human flying around the place, chopping these giants up into pieces.
oh
It's
yeah, I'd
it's
seen
great
I'd seen the
therapy.
gameplay video and stuff in it. Yeah, I remember.
It's
Fuck.
fantastic,
I
bro.
remember people
It
going crazy.
it is the bomb. So if you do end up wanting to get the game, don't get the first game. Just go straight to the second game. They made the
Oh,
same game twice. The second game is better.
Hmm.
Then lately got really deeply into indies, and I got into Stardew Valley. Oh my
let's
Oh
god.
my
go.
god.
Go, my man.
Stardew Valley,
Akhil is a big
such
fan.
a such a gem, one of the
So
possibly one
good,
of the
right?
greatest games ever created.
Yep.
And then when you tell people this and you show them visual, they're like, "अरे, ये तो
It,
हाथ से draw किया कैसे हो सकता है इतना अच्छा game?" And you're like, bro, you have
so
to play it to really understand what it is about. It's a universe unto itself. Stardew
Yeah.
Valley, really one of the greatest
true.
things to ever be created, I
And it
feel.
was all made by one man,
Yeah.
Hmm.
from
He's
the
doing
music to everything.
he's doing another one, na? He spoke about this का board game निकला है,
Oh yeah,
something
board game nikla.
the chocolate something it's called now. The next version he's doing
Oh,
another game.
okay.
Yeah. Damn, I can't remember. Yeah. Have you
You.
guys played Party Hard?
Hmm.
Yes.
Wait, you
Party
played
Hard?
Party Hard, right, Akhil, on stream?
Yes, on stream, yeah.
The Devil Wala game, no?
Yeah.
No, that's after party.
Ah,
Party
okay.
Hard.
Party
Party
hard
Hard is
is
about this guy who gets irritated that people are partying and he's trying to sleep, so he just goes and you have to kill everyone.
yeah, you have to kill
I
everyone
was
at a
like,
party.
yeah, अपना आदमी है
Damn.
भाई.
Wait. अब मेरे को भी खेलना है ये गेम,
What a
dude. That
game.
seems
Dude, it's
nice.
good.
Get,
Dude, sale pay it goes for like 40 rupees or something. By the way.
Damn.
yeah,
Okay.
go straight to Party Hard 2. Brilliant,
हाँ.
brilliant game. Brilliant game.
Might actually play it. Murder करना party पे लोगों को.
Yeah, it's damn
Yeah.
good.
There's this one game coming hopefully soon, Midnight Fight Express, that I'm like super excited about, and it looks really cool, like all the animations and everything.
It's basically just a fight game, like gully fight. You just have to
Crazy.
fight
Oh yeah.
people. And there's
At
a
one
pillow fight mode.
Yeah.
at one point I got really obsessed with turn-based, then I ended up getting into series. Have you ever played any of the Persona game?
I have seen it. I really want to, but then I just kind of drifted off
Too
after it.
good. Again,
It's really
another
nice. It's so stylish,
universes
dude.
universes unto themselves. Persona 4 Golden is on PC. You can get it on PC, and that's amazing because you couldn't play it without a Vita or without a PlayStation before this.
Hmm.
Persona 4 Golden you can pick up like today on PC, and then there's Persona 5 which is on PlayStation. Oof, amazing, amazing.
It's really stylish. I really love the like the art style and the music and all with the game. So good.
It's amazing. And they make different games. If you're used to seeing people playing first person games and you're
Hmm.
playing like all the regular genres of games are great. And then you play something like this, you're like, oh my god, ye bhi
Yep.
kar sakte game mein what? It just opens your mind up completely.
True.
Bonkers.
People are asking if you're a Dark Souls fan.
No, I'm not actually, to be honest, I've not played any of the Dark Souls games.
Okay,
That's
that's
good.
nice.
None of them.
Yeah.
Why are you
It
encouraging
just
that?
I don't know, it just
Yeah,
You're
it's
like, "Yeah,
just
that's good.
why would you wanna, torture yourself?
Suffer, na?
yeah.
I know I feel this way about playing horror games and especially horror games in VR. I
Oh
play games
no.
to relax. I play games to entertain myself. Why would I put myself through this kind of like suffering?
True. Yep.
You know what I mean?
With what have you like actually like played any horror game to like completion?
Oh, are you mad? I just recently I was considering. I've been wanting to start gaming streams for some time now. Every time something or the other happens, and recently I said, "चलो ये phasmophobia खेलते हैं."
और oh my god. कभी recently
And
पहले बोलो मतलब what is recent for you?
this is this is like a couple of days ago, man.
Oh,
This friend
Oh,
of
nice. The
mine,
new
they've
update.
made the game
he,
really scary now. Yeah.
yeah, this friend of mine, he
Yeah.
bought the game for himself and he sent it to me as a gift, and I was like, "नहीं चाहिए, क्यों भेजा मेरे को?" He's like, "We must try it." So we decided to try it and stuff, and I decided to try it in VR.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
no.
god, bro!
Oh,
That
we
first
are
like
सीधा. Oh no.
30 seconds into it, I took it off and I said, "I don't want to play this. I'm going to play this on the screen." Because man, that room and there's just a sofa there and
Yep.
you can't see anything. I was like, and recently now because I fixed my sleep schedule, I've started dreaming again. I didn't have dreams for the longest time. Now any little thing that happens in my life now, it's showing up in my dreams. So I was like, bro, ye nahi chahiye. I'll be dreaming about ghosts and all this stuff, and I need the rest. I need to be able to like get out of this.
Oh no.
Because I
Oh.
cannot understand people who play horror games for fun. I can understand for views and for like viewer ke entertainment.
Hmm.
Chalo, I put myself through it. But other than that, I'm not gonna do it for fun.
Yeah.
And and as
No, I
of the
agree
last few
actually.
days,
Yeah.
as of the last few days, Ghost Runner. I'm
Oh, I saw
surprised
the
at
video new. Yeah.
what a great game it is. My
Amazing game.
God, I was blown away, and it's apparently a 2020 game. It's not even from like this year.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's last year.
Last
Yep.
year. I put a lot of hours into No Man's Sky also, and insane amount of hours in No Man's Sky in VR. So it's
Yeah.
Oh,
something else.
even more
Something.
good. Maz is someone who was burnt by No Man's Sky on release day.
Yeah.
Everybody was burnt by it on release
Dude,
day.
so like one of the
But
things about like if you ever come to my streams on Twitch is like I love space and like the whole concept of like just like the
amazing.
unknown and like all of that. And No Man's Sky was one of those things of like damn, this game has potential. मैं लिया मैं खेला PS2 3 कुछ तो भी था वो टाइम पे
4.
4 या आई गेस 4 ही होगा
Oh,
उस पे खेला और 2 दिन में गेम खत्म एंड आई वाज like what the fuck क्या हो गया dude I was so disappointed I like अब से कभी भी games नहीं खेलूं I mean I
but
will
look
never
at
like
where it is
pre-order
now. Now, I
yeah
mean,
apparently
all
it's
things
insane
considered, yeah,
now
they screwed up and all, but wow,
yeah
where it is now is
So much
another
content
level.
now.
Yeah, I haven't
That's good.
touched it though since वो PTSD जो बैठ गया, but I will play it again for sure. But there's so many
So
games to
like
play though, right? Like, how do
there's
you decide
So
so
what
much,
to
many.
right?
play?
There's so much.
Like,
Which is why I'm like, how do people play PUBG all day?
or
Playing
Valorant, for
Rust
example, right?
or anything like
Yeah,
one
just like
thing
playing
only.
the same
How?
One
fucking
thing
game all the
only, yeah.
time. So sad, honestly. Like, so sad, chat.
No, no, it's okay. It's fine. I mean,
No,
whatever is making you
there's a
happy, it's
reason
fine.
why we, yeah.
Yeah, whatever people makes you happy is great, but there's so much more to experience. Like play Stardew Valley. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Like going from a first person shooter to Stardew Stardew
Dude,
Valley.
actually, like three people in like the Indian Twitch community just like switched, not switched, but started playing Stardew. They were like FPS mains and they started playing Stardew, and they are
Oh
like so
wow.
into it. They're like discussing whom they're gonna marry and all of that. They're like fighting for the same character and stuff.
What a beautiful game, And some of these games I'm making a list of things I want my kids to play. I'm gonna make sure my
Hmm.
daughter plays
Yes.
Stardew Valley, man.
Yeah.
What a
That
beautiful game.
is,
What an
yeah,
experience. What an experience.
damn, yeah.
I'm making a list of games that my wife will play. And Stardew is the first one. She's actually
I've been
played it,
Someone
but
make a
since
list
she's
for me.
never played any games, she like could not understand how to like move around and what to do.
even
So I
my
was
wife,
like,
I've been
"मैं
trying all
सिखाएगा."
kinds of things to get her to play, but she's been resisting for the longest time. But out of all the games, I feel like the genre I love the most is turn-based.
Hmm.
Especially first, it was first-person shooters because we spend most of our lives playing Vietnam and CS:GO and stuff like that. And then as I got older, turn-based strategy, like really, because you can chill out, you don't have to worry about what's happening on screen. You can take a break, you can pause, go, come back, aram se. It was like dad life kind of thing.
Yeah,
And so, as much as I love turn-based, I genuinely think one of the greatest games ever created, ever. Okay, and it's unfortunate that it is only in VR. It's Half-Life Alex.
I have heard.
There's
Yes.
nothing like it, nothing. And I repeat, I spent an hour looking at a spoon in that game, and that's the least important thing in the game. The game in itself is
Damn.
I have no words to describe. It is genuinely like if you could rate games and say which is the best game ever, it's that game.
Yeah.
Nothing
Like
in the
I guess
world is
Half
comparable.
Life was always the game that like pushed boundaries, right? Like Half Life 1 and 2 when it came back in the day.
Yeah,
Like there were so many games that spawned off of as a mod of that game.
yeah.
It's always been a something that's like
Unbelievable.
pushed boundaries. Yeah, that's
Lately,
what my
the
friend said as well. It's sad that it's only in VR.
yeah. I wish other people could experience it the way I experienced it. Wow, I cannot even tell you, man. And even when you watch VR games on a stream, you're not really
Yeah,
experiencing it the way the person is experiencing it inside the VR headset, which is very sad.
Hmm. But like
Games.
gaming and just like trying to, this is what like recently I've noticed about people. Like, I don't know if it is true or not. Like, the people I know who are like struggling a lot in life, they love grinding a particular game. Like, they take one game and they like play that a lot through the day,
Mm.
and it's like, I don't know if it's like concerning, if it's like helping them out in that moment, or it is just becoming a crutch.
I feel
It's
like it's that reward system, right? Like when I post a video and all the positive notifications that I'm receiving, it's a small dopamine hit
mm,
every time. I'm basically taking hits from my Instagram,
yeah.
and so I feel like it's the same thing. People are grinding. It's a reward system, so to speak. You're playing and you're being rewarded a little, playing and being rewarded a little. To
Mm,
hmm,
each their own, I guess.
yeah,
Ko maja aa raha hai.
yeah.
yeah. I think yeah, it's more like those dopamine hits where like especially for those RPG games where like you need to grind for that gear and stuff.
Yeah.
वो सब में it's like you grind, you do some other extra side missions, you kill what 12 pigs and you come back and then you get the armor and you're like yes मैं मेहनत से बनाया ये armor kind of a thing.
Then goes without saying honestly another bunch of the greatest games ever is the Spider-Man series, both one,
Oh yeah,
two,
yeah, the new one, yeah.
remastered, Miles Morales, God of War. Hey, Gears Tactics, my God,
Oh
so good,
yeah, I have
amazing.
it's so good.
I was like, what is this? It looks like XCOM. Oh, and it's
Yeah,
took it to another level
It's
though. Game
yeah,
actually
completely
super.
like mind blown level. Since we're talking
Oh,
about consoles, like for me, the one game that stands out, especially on consoles, is Last of Us.
oh,
I've
what a
not played
game.
it.
You have
Even
not?
Wait, you have?
no,
Oh,
no.
come on. You have
I
to.
will. I have
I have
it
to
now, no,
play
because वो
both
PC
of
में मिला
them.
तो उसमें
Yeah, both 1 and
like
2 are
yeah.
beautiful games.
I went and decided to fix my sleep schedule, and now there's less time for games somehow. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh god, there's more time for everything, but less time for games because night in the night there was nobody
Yes.
awake, right?
yeah.
My kid is not around. I can go around slicing people in the game, and I don't have to be like, hey, idhar mat dekho. I
Yeah.
don't have to do violence. So,
Last of Us would be a bad game to play around kids for sure.
now daytime I can't do anything because she's there. Dada, what is it doing? Like nothing. Or close it quickly.
just chopping humans and zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So many. My God. I'm going through this list, and we could be this slowly. This discussion is on games is overtaking how much time we've spent talking about mental health.
Mental.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so much.
I think
Hey,
we've
playing
pretty
games is
much
also a
covered
coping
most things
mechanism.
that we had to talk about, mental health. Like, uh, but yeah, I feel like now chat if you want to like ask questions to Jose. Now is the time.
Oh, go for it.
Go crazy.
You'll have to relay the questions if any show up.
Yeah, yeah.
First
Have
question:
you
what is
heard
wrong?
about Twitch India?
Of course, I have. How can I not have heard about Twitch India?
Oh
Of
yeah, I
course,
mean he was in touch with Supermad for something, right?
yeah, yeah. We did this conversation for Nvidia around us and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Totally not stalking you. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, Kill. It's been very concerning the things that you remember.
Okay.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, even if you're stalking.
Twitch streams
Anyway,
when?
I don't know. I've honest to be very honest. I have more of a following on YouTube,
True.
and
Of
Yeah.
I've been
course.
so I feel like I mean it's the easy way out. So I feel like I just stream to that audience also.
Yeah.
But I will do some tests and see what the deal is with the Twitch scene and maybe stream to Twitch. Maybe the games I feel like the YouTube audience is not gonna appreciate. Like if I
Yeah.
start Stardew Valley and all, they'll be like, "क्या कर रहे हैं ये? Huh? What
That
is this
is
nonsense?"
that is actually what I've noticed in a few YouTube streamers as well, that
Yeah.
they kind of stream the games that are not YouTube friendly on, or YouTube India friendly on Twitch, and then they go back to your Call of Duty and the Valorants and the CS and the PUBGs
And
over there.
and I mean, whether people understand it or not, a lot of it is about the target audience, right?
Yep,
So
yep, exactly.
if people are not interested and they want PUBG, I mean, it'd be stupid to give them Stardew Valley on
Yeah, exactly.
on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know, but then at the same time, is it possible to attract that kind of audience just on the basis of who you are? Or, I don't know. It's all experiment level pay.
Yeah. Probably
Like
have to
people
do a
will
lot
come
of
in,
like
yeah,
I don't know, publicity
yeah,
and shit.
like people have commented on this Ghost Hunter video कि कुछ समझ में नहीं आया लेकिन अच्छा लगा.
भैया आपने किया तो अच्छा वीडियो है.
That kind of vibe. So yeah, but maybe that's a good idea to stream to like a proper gaming community. I don't know. Then,
लाई टू चिल says रोज रात को घोस्ट स्टोरी सुनने में मजा आता.
अरे गुड
True.
यार. मेरे को बिल्कुल मजा नहीं आता है. It's really like sometimes some of the really terrible stories, but some of them can be really creepy, and
Yeah.
you end up thinking about them later on in the night. Like oh
Dude,
god,
I've had goosebumps while watching those streams. It's like
bonkers.
crazy. Some people just, and like some stories I think like have those logical reasoning कि like हाँ नहीं हवा आया था इसलिए something हुआ.
Yeah, yeah.
But then some of those are just like your slap story, Maz. It's like, how do you explain that?
No idea.
Slaps.
So I was what? 15 14 or 15 I was at home अकेले घर में कोई नहीं सब बंद खिड़की विड़की सब बंद टीवी देख रहा हूँ suddenly
God, I got
zap
goosebumps while he was saying that. Shut up,
dude
no.
yeah like still date I have no idea what happened dude. I was like what मतलब papa what happened I mean you know
What
No.
the hell?
punishment थोड़ा late हुआ but like you know come on
The
but yeah
hell?
I had no idea.
I would shit myself if something like that happened to me, bro.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. Like, I try to. I'm not a very like someone who believes in supernatural, but I'm also someone who gets scared a lot. But that's because बहुत stories सुनी है बचपन में,
Yeah.
तो वो
No,
reinforce
also,
हुई हुई है.
also what you don't know, na, what you don't know is scarier than what you
Okay.
can see.
Yeah.
I feel.
Hmm.
What inspired this chat? Kaisa asks. Kaisa draws.
What chat are we talking? Oh, the mental health
This
chat.
this
Oh,
this entire
oh
podcast.
shit. Okay. Yeah, we talk about mental health. I'm a clinical psychologist. I am working in Mumbai and I stream and I try to talk about like mental health and like all the little things that go unnoticed when we talk about mental health. So we do podcasts. We try to do it every week. Sometimes we do it once every 2 weeks. And right here we are with Jose talking about mental health and games and ghosts apparently.
Someone tagged me on Twitter saying कि that you were looking for someone to be on the stream,
Yeah,
and they said
dangerous
also
but dead.
मेरे को अभी credit मिलना
हाँ
चाहिए
हाँ हाँ हाँ
मेरे
बराबर.
वजह से हुआ ना.
Mhm.
So that's how
Dangerous
I ended
but
up.
was it? Yes.
Another question is, you think YouTube will grow out of BGMI and other mobile games? I think you kind of answered it. If the audience wants it, then
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it's a platform thing. I think it's like if the audience are reacting
Yeah.
to that, then people will keep doing it.
Because abroad there are
Yeah.
communities which watch like niche games and games necessarily like high paced first person shooters and stuff. So I
Yep.
don't think it is has anything to do in this case. I don't know, but of
Yep.
course,
Hmm.
only thing we know is that we don't know anything.
Let's go. मस्त में सोएगा मैं आज रात को says dangerous but who made this happen?
Acha, we finally gave him credit. And all. He's like, yes.
Oh, Anubhav with the
Hard hitting
interesting
question.
question. What's the one thing that people always misunderstand about you? I think
Oh
that
my
is
god.
directed towards Jose only
Yeah, of course.
because he knows us.
Yeah.
Nothing. I honestly don't know. I don't think anybody knows enough to have that question. Also, I don't know.
Hmm.
There's nothing to understand or misunderstand. Or whatever. I don't know. People make all kinds of assumptions online, though. You know how it is.
Mm.
Hmm.
But there's never been any like backlash as in on some video like ये ना ऐसी type का videos डालता है he's against X person or has that never been or has like you've always like kind of वो ध्यान से वैसे ही videos बना कि कोई बोल नहीं पाएगा.
So look, I mean, yeah, that's something people do. They'll be like, okay, what is the process behind it? Is I'm not looking at which political party or who did. I'm just looking for funny shit. If I find something funny, I'll be like, oh, I can do something like this. It just coincidentally happens to belong to this or that. And I have made videos on everyone. I've made
Yeah.
Modi ji, Manmohan Singh, everyone. It all depends on what the situation
Yeah.
is. But and usually the people who get annoyed, people getting annoyed is usually they're like supporters of a political party. Someone who's offended, ki you said something about my favorite. I didn't know that was a thing, but that is a thing, favorite politician and stuff. But I remember I made that video now. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Something had happened over here in Mumbai about potholes and stuff. So I did this video about me checking the different areas in Mumbai.
I
I
remember that.
remember
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some decent hate, decent
Yeah.
hate messages around that. I sort of like I was laying low for some time. And then
Laying low.
I argued with them for a bit, and then I was like, "There's no point." The
Oh.
best way to put your point across, I guess, is through. I mean, the more serious you are about things, the more serious they also get. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But in case anybody's wondering, I'm usually looking funny, and if I find funny, मैं उस पे बनाएगा video.
Yeah.
So like usually, like if I make a video around Modi ji or something. 100% there's someone in the comments saying, "Hey, राहुल गांधी के ऊपर बना सकता है क्या? हाँ,
But then
हाँ,
you
वो तेरा
made, no, I
पापा है
think.
क्या?"
You have made,
So
right?
then
Yeah.
I'll send them a link. Then I send them a link to that video. Okay. Then on the comments in that video is, "मोदी जी के बारे में बना सकते हैं क्या? हाँ, बना सकते हैं क्या?"
It's a
Then I'll
good
send
way
them a
to,
link
you
to
know, how content farm ho raha hai
cross
mast
promote.
na.
Yeah.
There's a nice cycle of like viewers
Yeah.
just watching both the kind of video. Actually,
Then
it's
one
five head.
random person will say, "अरे केजरीवाल के ऊपर नहीं बना सकते ना? हाँ, नहीं बना सकते." Then I'll say, "ये लो ये link जो."
Yeah.
I'm cross promoting all my videos like that.
Oh, damn. Monetizing hate. Love it.
Monetary.
Come to think of it, this is really a thing. It's not even a joke. There's also been the ah ममता बनर्जी के ऊपर बना सकते क्या? बना सकते हैं? Like ये लो.
Yellow.
Oh,
Man, internet is bonkers, bro.
oh my god. Beautiful. Someone asked, what was your first thought about not a cult?
I didn't have any thoughts. I just I joined your Discord a couple of days later. Also, I laughed at the
Yeah,
name. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
very funny because all
Oh,
cults say that
nice.
they're not a cult, but
But we are not a cult,
We are
so
not a cult, yeah, first.
yeah, which is what a cult would say. But first thought was ki, "Arey, oh, at least these guys are talking about mental health and stuff." So I was like, I'd love to be part of that
Mm-hmm.
because nobody does that.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing. And I think that
Fair.
bothers people also. People who are dealing with mental health issues, it's hard for them because they are also acutely aware of the fact that nobody wants to talk about it. So
Yeah.
where do they start?
Oh, yeah, but I think this was great. I think we've like covered so much and then
yep.
something extra. It
Yeah.
is very cool. Very cool of you to actually like, come and talk about
Thank you for having me,
all of
bro.
this. Because
Thank you.
hopefully we are
Always
now
here to listen to
Of
whatever.
course.
all
Let me
yours.
just
Hmm.
take the filter off. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
damn.
of course. Like before the podcast started, he like came in with like snap camera. It is snap camera, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's snap
Yeah,
camera.
yeah,
You'll definitely get saying, "ये कैसा करते हैं साला?" All the stream somebody says, "Hey, ये कैसा करते हैं?"
yeah. No, we've
People
dabbled with
introduce me as.
snap cameras a lot here.
Yeah.
It's so good, bro.
You know what?
It's
I'll
a
actually send
great
you like
tool.
one video from us. We do a little thing called like news debates. Uh, I'll like try to send you a video.
Just like we just try to imitate the actual news debates, the
Yeah,
shouting and the
would love
things.
to
Just
have
that the
like a
topics are
feedback.
obnoxiously stupid.
Yeah, it's like which is
Really.
what was our best news debate that we've done?
Which hackers are the best? Call of Duty hackers or
Oh,
Apex Legends hackers?
Apex. Yeah.
Then what? Which was the first one? Oh, I can't remember the first one. The first one was really good because no one was ready and
No one
everyone
was
was just
ready to. Yeah, what was the
cracking.
first one?
Does anyone remember?
Will
YouTube
because
versus Twitch, dude.
YouTube
The
was a
first
Yeah.
Twitch,
one.
yeah. And like I don't know, I would generally like your input towards like
Yeah.
that sort of content. And maybe I don't know, maybe one day we could call you for a debate. But
Of course, Mr. Chidambaram. Yes,
Yes.
नहीं नहीं एक मिनट 2 minute
uh, but yeah, it's very this honestly, my God, I'm like so happy. My day was going really bad today, but this has made me super
Thank
uh
God. I thought you were saying, and then after
excited.
this, it just was
नहीं
in
अभी
the
मैं
week.
जाके आइसक्रीम
Yeah.
खाएगा खुशी खुशी में पहले सैड में खा रहा था अभी खुशी खुशी में खाएगा
पागल आदमी 3 आइसक्रीम दिन में. It's only been a couple of hours.
yeah I'll
Cut.
start being healthy कल से
Kal
again thank you Jose for joining thank you Akhil for joining for this
Awesome,
podcast
man. Thanks for having me.
chat say bye to Jose
Oh, okay.
अखिल तो weekend पे भी दिखेगा वापस
True.
Hi, guys. Really aged. 3 साल इधर ही 2 घंटे में